Vous avez sur cette vidéo plusieurs centaines de terroristes, de supplétifs des forces impérialistes arrêtés ce matin par l'armée malienne lorsqu'ils ont lancé l'assaut dans plusieurs villes du Mali. L'armée malienne a réagi et voilà le résultat. C'est plusieurs centaines de terroristes qui ont été arrêtés pour le moment.
Oh, no, it's not.
The local government chairman.
Not the local government chairman.
Honorable.
Don't you know us? Honorable, honorable. Are you not honorable? What are you doing with our money? So if I ever keep are you not the honorable? Already with a local government chairman. They have taken lives. Shut up! What are you doing with our money? Can you hit the guy here, man? If you have put the fire. Answer us! Answer us! Well done. Come on. So if I ever keep are you not the honorable? Already with a local government chairman. They have taken lives. Shut up! What are you doing with our money? Can you hit the guy here, man? If you have put the fire. Answer us! Answer us! Well done. Come on. I will slap you. Come on.
What's the this now?
Say how much to talk. Are you not our local government chairman? What have you been doing with our money? Can you take a man? What kind of investment to slap you? Local government chairman. But close that. But say that lifter. I don't want anybody to come in here. You know, Jesus. What are you doing with our money, local government chairman? So can you be a hotel in there?
Management.
Lock it. Lock it. No, we deal with you. I deal with you. Shut up. Put out good. No, put out here. Come here. Come let you go. Excuse me. Shut up. Come out here. Local government chairman. Here back. Come out. Come out from here. Local government chairman. What are you doing with
what's the meaning of this now?
I will slap you now. I will slap you now. Carry him. What are you doing with our money? Thunder fire you. Local government chairman. Thunder fire you and your generation. Local government chairman. Anywhere we see you, this is how we'll be dealing with you people.
What's the meaning of this now?
Shut up! I will slap you now.
You're looking at me. Why are you looking at me now?
Okay, come here. Are you running? Nonsense.
Oh my God, this is interesting. Okay, I'm sorry, I heard that you guys were not hearing me. Okay, that's one of the local government chairmen from the southeast. Got a dose of his own medicine. Since they will not do what they're supposed to do, people have now set out to make sure that when they come to the West, they will receive that medicine they've been giving to the people of Nigeria. So the sound is restored now, so we cannot move. Again, I was introducing to say that we hosted a very, terrific journalist, one of the best in Nigeria. In fact, I call her our own Candice Owen. She can also qualify as our own. What did I know? Not Christian Amanpour. We know what she's doing. We're talking about people who report and who say things and analyze it properly. And she's no other than Precious Enyi. And sometimes, whenever I hear her program, the sick tune, is interesting for me because it reminds me of those days when we were growing up. That brown girl in the ring, tra la 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 la. It sounds that way. So it's always reminding me of that. And I tell the truth, I like to watch her. I like to listen to her because she's, to me, in my summation, very balanced and tries to report the news the way it is and give you evidence of what she's reporting. She's not inferring, and that's very good. One of the things that she talked about is the news, what went on between Frank Uto and then David Ehundai, who she hosted both program, and Frank Uto. So I'll say this as a journalist. Some people say, what's it now? personal account does not matter. No, in journalism, personal account is all that's needed. It's more important than whatever, because you are talking about people who were on ground. That's what you look for when you go out to report. When you go out to cover the news, you look for people who were participants or people who were on ground. It's called the eyewitness report. How can you say eyewitness report is not important? That means you don't even know what you're talking about. So an eyewitness report brings you and gives you a blow-to-blow account of what went down, better than anybody would have been firing from afar. And then sometimes, see, what I find very interesting is that some of us agree with American statistics, but when it favors them, they quote those same statistics they don't agree with, and so it becomes a double standard. You go there for one side now, you either choose to do this way or this other way. And then we also extensively discuss the situation of the Nigerian journalists. Many people do not understand, and they will not understand because they choose not to understand. But when you sign up as a journalist, you're not signing because you want to go and die. If it's that you like to die very quickly, at least you will have signed up in the army. We know that journalism is not a simple job, but we didn't sign so that we'll go and die there. We didn't sign to go and die. Okay? Nobody who decides to go school of journalism and then come out and say, okay, I just want to make my name. You go and put yourself in harm's way because you want to make a name and then die in the process. So many have died in the process and we don't even know them, and Nigeria have never celebrated them. Is there any day? There's even the Nigerian Union of Journalists. They don't even celebrate Delegiwa. Is there a day called Delegiwa Day? How many newspapers and magazines cover Delegiwa as a topic on the day of his death? How many Nigerians have ever found out what happened to his family? What about his children? What about his wife? What has happened? So we can't now say that because you're a journalist and so you put yourself in harm's way just to make sure that you tell your story. Well, that may happen in the West because when they lose their life or something drastic happens to them or they are caught up in a strange country, okay, the government of United States go to the extra length to make sure that such people are rescued, And so it's not like before, and I'm not saying that sometimes the Nigerian government don't do that, but it depends on who you are. I'll give an example. One once went to Maradi, Niger Republic, to report an information. In fact, it was a medical mission that had followed, and I and my colleague had gone to give a blow account of what was going on in that medical mission, organized by our organization. And on getting there, there was a tip that we are spies, of course, spy out, Maradi, which is, one of the local areas of the Niger Republic. But you see, the actual story is because they knew that we are Christians, and they thought that we have come for evangelism because we are giving medical mission, free of charge treatment to their people. And so we were framed up and taken to the prefect. That's the name of the local government or some kind of regional governor office, and they are going to lock us up. That's why sometimes I'm a bit slow in criticizing Abike Dabiri. Okay, so I called our boss and said, look, this is the situation we have here, and this is what they are saying. I'm from one of the friendly guys who know that they are just trying to frame us up. He has told us that they want to take our phone, so if we wanted to make any phone call, we should make, and I had that opportunity. So I called my boss and I said, this is what is going on. And he said, what? Really? Why? And I said, well, we don't have time to explain. 1 minute we'll be going into their prison. So he said, okay, I will call Abike Dabiri. And I'm saying this with good conscience. He said, I will call Abike Dabiri. And so he called Abike Dabiri, who was then still a House of Representative person. And Abike called back after some minutes to speak to me. And she said, what's really going on? Can you just give me? And I explained to her what was going on. He said, are you people with your Nigerian passport? I said, yes. Do you have your ID cards? Yes, journalist said, yes. Do you have every other? I said, everything that you need to cross a border line, we'll have it. I said, okay, let me see what I will do. And so within some minutes, calls were coming from everywhere to the so-called prefect. And then the man comes out and says, so you think you can call Nigeria, you can call Abuja and then frighten me? I'm not frightened. I'm not frightened. Anyway, while he was still saying that, another call came from the presidency and said, those people you are holding there, we want them out immediately. And why was he saying that? The president of the country called him to say, who are the people you are holding? That the calls are coming from Abuja. So why am I trying to say that? I'm trying to say that the government sometimes responds, but it depends. And that's what we are saying. It shouldn't be who you know. It should be a natural thing to respond to help a Nigerian who is in trouble in another country, especially if their hands are clean. My hands are clean. So, they had to leave us, They had to leave us, and the man, just to not so that his ego doesn't drop, he said we must leave Maradi immediately. And we said, okay, that's fine enough, And because everybody told us, you know what, just leave, let him be. We can turn that, but there's no need to do that. Let's just give him some respect and move. And that's what we did. Why am I bringing this story in? I'm bringing it to say that it used to be easy for Nigerians to stand out and help Nigerians. But today, I cannot say that much. I cannot say that much because even you as a journalist operating in Abuja can be taken to the DSS dungeon and locked up for days and months without anybody coming to your rescue. And so you have to operate in a very, you have to know how to, operate. But I won't say that much. I will invite those who are in the studio and, also hoping that all of you who are out there can come in and let's have a discussion on this. Tony, you are welcome.
Thank you, my brother KJ. I'm hoping that we'll have a very good night today with our discussion.
I hope so too.
Yes.
Yanaba, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much, brother KJ.
Thank you so much to have both of you come in, and I'm hoping to see forefathers because I think he has a view that everybody wants to hear and share. I'm also hoping that Show will come in because I heard the last part of the discussion. You were quite on point, and every other person, Dr. Lama, I hope you also come in so that we all can have a useful discussion today. You see, I smart is not smart too much. I frown is saying they frown too much. What did my thing will do for this world will satisfy everybody. Anyway, Tony, you're welcome. Yes, let's hear your initial take on what we discuss.
Well, like I said, greetings, my brother, Mr. John Abba. I am close to Precious, close in the sense that I am a regular on her platform. And apart from being a regular on her platform, there are a few things I know, having watched her, listening to her, discussing with her that she does outside her, her philanthropy. We in that platform, we have tried several times to even see how we can assist her with her platform, but she refused bluntly. She said no. So what I understand is that she's doing that herself. It gives her joy. She's not doing it for money. So it was a pleasure for me to see her, come to Dr. Damage's platform. And I agree substantially with her views. And I think that, for me, quite a lot of take home there. And I think that there's a need for us to dialogue from time to time. The aspect that deals with the plight of journalists is well understood. We can't pretend. If you want to earn a good pay, you don't go into journalism. You never get a good pay. I also know too that a lot of them are not finding it very easy, particularly with the advent of social media, like newspapers now. How many people read newspapers these days? How many people now listen to NTA and all that these days? So it's like it's a big challenge, and then of course that it's it's a little bit political now, because if you, as a journalist, If you want to be very, very fair, and that means that you say things as you see them, sometimes those views that you express would be something that the government sees as not being fair to them. And so they target you, they see you as an opposition. A lot of people have gotten into trouble because they speak the facts. And so they are mistaken for being antagonists of the government. So what some people do, and people are there to do their jobs. If the owner of the organization, of the media organization, it has sympathies for a particular party, and then you are saying things obviously that are true, but are negative to the party whose interest is representing or is sympathetic to, you're going to be in trouble. They're going to fire you. So it's a problem, that if you want to have your own mind, then maybe you will have to go and establish your own media and sponsor it yourself so you can have perfect and complete control. But if you, even then, you still have to work within the dictates of the government, the rules, apart from what the NBC wants you to do. Sometimes if you say certain things, the big men will come after you and you could be in trouble. So I think that's part of the dilemma of, journalists that you have in Nigeria, apart from the fact that some of them don't have insurance. They don't even have money to, do the kind of things that we see foreign media do. So there are quite a lot of impediments, affecting their job and their ability to perform. So that's the dilemma. And so I think if we are assessing the Nigerian journalists, we have to take the environment that they operate into consideration. We look at their welfare, and so otherwise, if you begin to compare them with foreign-based journalists, I think you'll be comparing oranges with apples. David Hundeyin, for instance, is out of the country, basically because of the nature of his investigative journalism. That looks like he's anti-government. And so they're looking for him. We've seen Bagauda Kautu is killed in the discharge of his duties. What happened? Delegiwa, we mentioned it here. So you have to really choose. Sometimes I don't blame those who say, listen, I have to moderate my views. Sometimes not everything that they see that they talk. Yet the people are hungry for information. There are quite a lot of things information that journalists have, but they can't release it because they know it's either because the owners of the organization don't want it out, or because they don't want to put anybody in trouble. They could just shut down your media, just because you were too daring to go into certain kinds of journalism and to expose certain facts. You can only do that when you're outside the country. But when you are within the country, there are bounds that you must not cross. And that's the reality of the situation. If you do that, then God help you. That's my impression. So I think in talking about, the atmosphere, in journalism, the practice that we see, we have to, if we're interrogating it, how well they have done. It's important also that we look at the environment that they're operating. It's for me, it's very, very important. So let me stop there so that Mr. Janaba can come in.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, bro, Janaba.
Hey, KJ.
Yes, sir.
Yes, nice to see you, Brother Tony and Ovie. Yes, sir.
Ovie had removed his glasses of yesterday. At least you can see his eyes now.
No, I am sitting in front of my header, so I have to.
No, there's a new Igbo way of doing the take now.
I have to pretend to be responsible. So.
Like Tony said, journalism in Nigeria is around the world is very uh, difficult, but it's a check and balance. Uh, and moreover, we also must consider where Nigeria is today in terms of civilizations and all of that. We still we can be comparing it with the more civilized nation around the world, where basic human rights is practiced. Uh, uh, in Nigeria, it's not like that. There are so many things that you cannot do. And to those that believe that you cannot do journalism the way it is, that you must sacrifice your life, uh, uh, they need to understand that even the armies or those law enforcement that go out every day, the, the aim as you are leaving your house is that they tell you do everything to come back home. When you go to the office, you are assigned to go to any operations that is even going to endanger your life, they tell you do everything to come back safe. So nobody is assigned to go and die on any duty knowingly. That should not be the issue, whether it's journalists or any law enforcement or whatever you do, that everything can be at risk. Walking out of your house can be a risk. You can be a victim of anything in this life, but that is not the goal. So we have to draw that line and then look at those that have died in the pursuit of good journalism. What is the outcome of them? Who is taking care of their family right now? Who knows them because they die as a hero? Hero to who? You so you ask yourself, are we there yet? So we have some of us that live in diaspora around the world, a well-developed and well-structured society. We see that even animals on the street that have no owner are treated with respect. Even when you hit them, you have to stop. Even the wild animal and than the life of Nigeria. So we must know where the people are mentally. The first time after a long time that I went to Nigeria, as a man that I've lived in abroad, the qualities, I access everybody, everybody access me, and we are having good time. I'm a village boy. I love village setting. Okay, so um, I realized that if I don't create the the next time I go have to create a boundary because that is not how it is there. It is because I was become more Americanized, and I think it is the way I left the country and all of that. So we have to work with what we have to protect ourselves, our family, and whatever we do. So I completely disagree with anybody. So if you want to do it, you have to die for it. You go die first and then come and tell us what reward you get in heaven, what reward, how they welcome you as a hero. And and I believe the nature of what we do, whether in Nigeria or what we have done or what we are doing, it's also always involved life. That's we shouldn't misunderstand it. Whatever you do, your life is at war, at risk. So we should take that to account. And the young lady, why I asked her that if you have the knowledge of a subject being discussed or issue, if someone have a superior argument and you know about it, what do you do? Now, on issues on topic, for instance, and you are talking to a medical doctor, his languages that he uses and a pastor's, they're not the same. And if they argue on topic, a pastor will not be talking about how the medical field look like and describe it to a medical doctor. That is you know that the guy you are talking to is more knowledgeable about it more than you. And so also, and if you have to cross to the other line. So we treat subject based on what we know about it. And she is doing the best she could to put out information there in order for Nigerians to bring. And sometimes I can tell you for a fact that it's not that it's all well that she have not been threatened, or somebody that come to her show have not faced a backlash why they come, why they say some certain things. The only reason is that it takes a lot to do in Nigeria than any other country or civilized world. So we give credit to those who are trying their best. I was then when Buhari was alive, or when he was a president and was going on a trip, and the journalists were asking him your question, which is your question, but you are telling me in Nigeria, you're going to ask a difficult question, you enter that plane, and then yes, you don't know. And then you enter the person is enter as a journalist. And then you come down, and tomorrow you come. And he doesn't, in during Buhari, notice you know he's a very man that revenge. He will not even say a word. He will just call somebody and say, this boy that asked this question, do you know him? And that's it. They already know what he meant by that, by even picking the person up. And then your own Gary don't finish for. In fact, it's like you have Gary and they are putting sugar and you went and put sand and then you are drinking it yourself. So, so we are dealing with different human beings.
I
And
agree.
and I believe with time, the media now is a street issue. Somebody can just have a good cell phone now and good tablet and become a journalist if that is what they're interested in. And the only thing is that when you, in more knowledge, like someone like KJ as a roundup, in more knowledge there is pain. And KJ now, when they talk about this, he have more pain because he experiences. So when you come and say journalist is like this, like that, he will even be more upset if he doesn't control himself because he know personally what he encountered as a journalist in Nigeria. So we give respect to those who experience something than to say, oh, you sit from outside and you say anything you want to say. And if you want to be my hero, I want to see you, my friend, go and do it and come back. And when you die, bring me your death certificate and tell me, oh, when I died, I was welcome in heaven very well because I asked a tough question and I talked to Wiki and I get away with it. So
I
it's all
agree with
good.
you. I
And
agree with
then,
you.
yeah, so the David and Frank. And one thing I want to, as I summarize that is, because I watched the interview with her, that is a very key, and I think all of us will take notice, is that you can be doing very well with your own heart on what you are doing, but the person behind it may be using you for what you don't know. Don't take that for likely. You may do your best, maybe you see, whether it's a non-profit organization you are running and you meant it to where you want to reach the poor, you want to provide, whether it's a health issues, medical missions, or food, or whatever you are doing. You can be sincerely meant what you are doing with a good heart, but you don't know the whatever is behind it, and you cannot do with what you don't know. The only thing we be careful and to make sure that whatever we are doing, you have a knowledge of what we are doing. But we
That,
can be
that, that,
used
that-
for what
that's
we don't
that's a
know.
very good point,
Yeah,
Jonaba, that
yeah.
you made. You know that
Mm.
submission. It's a for me. It's a very 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 valid point because you could be working, but you don't know that you are being used, or you don't know the intention, but you're doing your best. You know.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. That's a very very valid point.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very valid point, Jonaba. Your last point, very valid. And I say that because it's not today that people started trying to use other to achieve their aim. Yeah, as sometimes you may be doing a good job, for your brother, even your sister, and you don't even know that you are being used. Some it can even be your wife, your husband. You are doing a good job for your husband. You don't even know that he's used. So that packaging has been around for a long time. In fact, it's captured in the Bible a particular guy was using fake to preach, and then the disciples of Paul, it was Jesus that came to him and said, "We met, Master, we met somebody preaching in your name, and it's not one of us." I said, "Don't worry, leave him to preach. Whether it is this or that, Christ is being preached." So, for me, I totally agree with what John Abba is saying. Listening to the two of them, I totally agree because Mr. David, maybe speaking from what he knows, and Frank, who is trying to protect his own community from being wiped off. Already some members of that community have been wiped off, and they will never be recovered again, not on earth. That bloodline has ended and gone forever. Well, both of them are doing the same work. Now, my only challenge in that naming of the people who are running things in Nigeria and destroying things is that he didn't mention the major people who have been there longer than any other set of people, which is the Chinese. And that's where I had a problem. He mentioned the Americans, but he didn't mention the people who have been buying our villages and giving people arms to drive the local people away from being there. Anyway, I will come to Ovie. Mr. Ovie.
Sorry, before Ovie comes in, Ovie, no vex, I beg. I forgot to mention also, because this is important, Khashoggi, the Saudi Arabian journalist who was based in America and was murdered because he was writing things that the Saudi authorities didn't write.
Yeah.
And we saw the gruesome way that he was murdered.
Yes.
After all the hype and all the noise, it just ended like that.
It has ended. And guess what? He didn't even have a family. You understand what I'm saying? So that he too has turned to Aaron. Obagakala, he has gone with empty hand. So one of the things you are taught first and foremost is to first of all secure your life. You secure yourself, and then before you even go into any uncharted territory. And you see, one of the things they don't teach in Nigeria is how to secure yourself in the place of danger when you're reporting or when you're on ground. And you see, there also those who are laying emphasis to Wike. I want to say something that is probably not many people have observed. You see, if they were dealing with people who are experts or professionals in the job, the locations they choose from Wike shouldn't have been the locations at all. That's one. The ambience, the voice, the sound that comes out of that has never been good. Not to talk about the picture quality. So you see that there are many things that are lacking in around it. Okay, it's just what we call point and shoot, which is what they're doing there. But if you are taking into account technical issues, there are many technical issues that are begging to be fixed. And then I want to say also, I think he, before coming there, has already determined what he wants to answer. So if you are bringing anything that he doesn't want to answer, he will not answer. So and it's a revenue generation for that, those people that have been invited. And I think that they will make do to keep it going. Anyway, having said that's my own opinion. Mr. Ovie.
Yeah, I agree with you, my elders. I am not as I know how to put that first. My parents I know deceive you. I just saying that John Abba and I go to tell you. See, I'm the true person. But KJ, this kind of topic now they make me they go hard on you based on 3 reasons. One, you study journalism in the main sense of it. You go school, you study it, so you end up to expert. Outside that, you also practice. You put in decades. Nobody can take that away from you, and nobody can say you don't know what you're talking about.
I know you didn't complete it. Outside that, I won the highest awards in where I worked as an African internationally.
Yes.
So I don't owe anybody expectation.
I am more hard on you based on another reason.
Okay.
Journalism, as far as I'm concerned, in today's Nigeria, is one of the most important professions because the role it plays today, right? So that's why I always make sure say I go out on it. And I understand that you have to stand your ground, right? And a lot is at stake. Your profession, I get it. Not to say you will lose out, but it's part of your training, right? You have to defend what you believe and you spend time and resources on. I get it. But why I disagree with the whole idea journalism is difficult, money and all that, is the same reason I made this argument yesterday about the idea of experts, right? And my argument was based on history, politics, and power. Who is expert in this area? The difference between the experts, so-called experts in that area of 90s and today is based on two things, right? Technology and the core principle of journalism. Now, before you are saying you are an expert in history, in current affairs, in politics, because you are privileged to go to some kind of school, have access to some kind of books, some information that only money can afford, right? But technology has bridged that gap. That's why I say, well, I asked to Nigeria yesterday, what does it even take to be an expert? It takes interest and dedication when it comes to history, politics, and power. Very specific. I'm not talking the doctor or no, but this area, it takes dedication and interest. Are you interested enough to spend money in getting access to those books, right? Internet don't come, social media don't come, AI don't come. So if you are dedicated enough and you're ready to go the long haul, you are an expert, because that's what made an expert of yesterday. So the same thing with journalism today. Technology and the basic principle of journalism. Technology don't bridge that gap, don't give you those things where you go learn for school, right? If I am interested, I don't get access to it now. With little or no cover of what you pay, right? Now, so I have access to that now. Two, the basic principle of journalism is that report what you see. Allow your audience to decide, to come to conclusion, unless you don't believe in them. That's the core principle of journalism. Go there, report what you see, allow people to decide. That's not that hard. Now, the idea that there's so much expensive for you to go there, again, I get it. But today, you don't have to go to Nigeria to get first-class information. So the idea that expensive, but most importantly, you are there on behalf of somebody first before the people. People will keep forgetting that. If you work for Arise, they go feed, go report. Your first allegiance now they Arise, now then they pay, now they employ you. In other words, you have to report issue according to waiting Arise believe and stand for first before the people. And that is where the people, they always challenge the story where journalists they give these days. Because one, they have access now to alternative. So when people like me, they challenge the act of journalism or history or politics, not because because I know exactly what you are talking about. And you know for free deny what I'm talking about is wrong. But it's just that it doesn't go according to what you are supposed to, because it's not just at stake for you. Now, I am not taking the fact that there are some areas of journalism that you have to go the extra mile, right? You want to go uncover what some people are trying to add, because they also spend a lot to make sure that information is out from the public. I get that point. But even at that, you also expect to report exactly what you find out as you found it. But the possibility of you reporting it that way is not almost 100% no go that way, because you might find out that even your boss is implicated in that information you are trying to find. How do you report it? Are you going to report it the way you see it? No, but we the people, that is what we expect of you, because you're a journalist. So my argument is my argument say if we no get money, somebody no pay us, we no fit do it. That is off the window, because I'm not saying you should not do it, but that is not an excuse. If we really want to build a society, it's not that expensive to communicate with each other. Only when you have an intention to manipulate that conversation that you have to now give for full get with. Of course, it's going to cost you, and because it costs you have to recover your money first. So now because what we they pay for now information. I mean, the human, what make us special is because we are storytellers. The Nigeria we see today now we talk into existence. Now we go talk into the next level. And now for somebody to come and tell me, for me to have that conversation with you, somebody has to pay for it. That argument is hard for me to swallow. But as I said again, you have at this point today where we do so. How many of us they wake up, they come now, Rise News or CNN? Now you go first to get the first information. In other words, the rest of the degrees where you get, go they work for them. It's off the window, because one, I can easily go to Dr. Damage's show and get the real authentic information without anybody using gymnastics to deceive me.
Okay.
So
I agree with you. Ovie, we are talking from the same point. You see, when you have your own media and you are the person, you can monitor, you can keep yourself for what you want to report and what you don't want to report. But if you are working for an organization like CNN, there's an in-house reporting pattern which you have to. In fact, let me tell you something. When you are, for instance, if there's an issue now in DC and you are tomorrow morning, that's where you're going to start. Before you leave the office, you're going to have a meeting. It's called a production meeting. The production meeting, the producer and even sometimes the head of the organization will tell you exactly what area they want you to cover while you are there. This is the area where we want you to go. We want you to get this person, get Ovie, get Jonaba, get Maska. These are the three people we think are important to this report. You must have to get them. I don't care how you get them. I don't care what you do, but these are the people you must get in this interview. One of the reasons is this. Those are the people that they are hoping will sell their market. We give that reporting the power that it needs. Two, that is the people that the crowd wanted, or let me say the crowd, the audience, your viewers want to see, because they've gone from before that if they include Tony in the reporting, people are, are more inclined to tune in. And so whatever you do in DC tomorrow, you must have to get these three people that have been called to interview. Now, it is now left to you to see which other area that will interest the person who is going to put together the report, because you're not going to be the one putting it together, the report. And then you take those snippets and take those interviews to give it a balance. But at the same time, it's left to the discretion of the station to say, oh, you spoke to Femi, we don't like Femi's view on this issue. Or you know what, Femi spoke too much. He spoke what we don't want, but he just said is. And we're going to take that is and put in this report. So it comes in different ways, and you fully may not understand.
The issue there is that that organization, sorry, I'm not trying to, that organization is a private entity. They have their agenda, right?
That's what I tell you now. I'm speaking the same thing. Every one of them out there have their own agenda.
What I'm saying, don't blame the public for discrediting you because you are reporting an individual, an entity agenda instead of what the public really wants to hear. So we're not going to blame the people say we discredit journalism. You see where it is though, because you are not building to, you are building a private entity because of what you want to sell market for them. It's all about money. How do we find it comfortable to market communication that we are supposed to be having freely, and we are proud of it?
Nobody can. Okay, that's why I'm making a mistake. Nobody.
No, you say they have to sell market, they have to market their agenda.
No, there's no way. See, okay, let me give you one example. I go to Uganda to go and do a report, and I'm not going to pay myself to go there. Okay, my crew is not going to pay themselves to go there. So somebody needs to sponsor it. we pay for the equipment, we pay for the personnel, will give us what is called per diem, okay, to take us there and bring us back. This is don't come cheap.
So now you have to serve that person first. You have to report to his satisfaction first before the people. I'm not saying you should not do it, but understand what you are doing.
Okay, let me put it this way. Politicians are in. Hold on. Politicians are in political parties. When they get into government, do they implement what the people want or what the party stands for?
No, because they buy their way into power. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I live in.
Their way there. So you finance your way to Uganda. I expect you to repeat your money back. I'm not saying.
Let's hear from
Femi. What you are marketing, you're actually doing the service to the people. That's why we have the country we have.
No, you're not seeing it right. You're not seeing it.
Okay.
Okay, Femi, I don't want to give my Femi, go ahead.
So let's keep going.
Yeah, Femi, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I was listening towards the tail end of the interview, so I didn't really catch what Precious was a majority of the interview. But then I also found the wide-ranging views that were expressed, especially when it came to that specific line item that had to deal with that you have all been dealing with from the last session into this one, because I'm pretty sure she spoke along several other lines. There were other lines of questioning, but this seems to have been a major talking point. And while on one hand, Doctor and yourself, KJ, and even Shu, we're trying to make the point as to why the issue of brown envelope per se is the way it is in Nigeria. I was also thinking at the top of my head how I saw journalism when I initially moved to the US, starting with New York, and how I consumed the media as if my life depended on it, from ABC to NBC to Fox to CNN, CBS as well. And interestingly enough, I may not have mentioned this before. My very first job in the US, I worked with the ABC TV, the flagship ABC TV in New York. And I got to interact with a couple of people. I mean, I'm not a journalist. I can never be. It's not possible. I didn't go to journalism school, so I didn't. Because back in the days, before I now pick it back to where I left off now. Living in Maryland, if you recall, channels started at Crystal Laurel. That Crystal Laurel building that Benga, that building around Maryland. I think it was owned by Benga Daniels before they moved to their what's it called? So I remember we used to see. I can't remember this guy, but he left a long time ago. It was one of the pioneer members of that. We used to see him a lot around, and we would talk to him because in my head, I used to think journalism was just about carrying mic. I just thought it was something easy. It was just simplistic because when you see people on TV, even when you go as far back as when NTA used to be NTA, the Sena, Razak Lawals, and what have you, it was glamour. To me, it was just glamour. It was something about so far you can talk, and that was just my idea. And then when you now also align it with the good old days of the Tribune and some of the papers that no longer exist, the very golden generation of journalists that you had then. It was sweet then. Nigeria wasn't as dangerous. The politics hadn't the toxicity hadn't reached the level where we now have it. Why am I trying to compare all of what I thought I knew then with what I saw when I moved to the US and what I now know? I realized that when you now when you kind of like tune into the fact that even in America, what I thought I knew, forget about the fact that I said I worked at ABC or whatever. By the time I realized that, wait a minute, a lot of things that it depends on who's paying the piper. In the case of the liberal media, for example, the way they will report the same news, forget about even the issue of brown envelope now. This is where I began to understand journalism at a different way. The liberal media, the way they report the same news, will be different from the way the conservative media will report. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah.
It depends on where you live in America. There's one in me.
Yeah, so it will be the same news, so will be different from the way the conservative media will report that same news. And over time, I had to now kind of like withdraw myself from whatever, because whether one likes it or not, we all have our biases. This same whether it's Araizo or Tinubu Media or TVC, or after all, a lot of politicians all over the world, or as you're beginning to see now, tech billionaires are beginning to own media houses. So whether brown envelope, the way me I see this thing, is even got to the point where whether brown envelope or green envelope, it's beginning to look as if it depends on who owns the media house as well, and how much freedom they're willing to give to you. In terms of whether, in this case, for example, whether it's Wicked involved in that asks for the media houses to come and interview him, or it is the media houses, depending on which media house is asking them to come to the studio. I've seen situations where sometimes I wonder, wait a minute, are we really, even in this American stuff, are we even getting the real news? It depends on where you look. And sometimes it doesn't even matter whether, I mean, after all, you can't necessarily say that they're getting brown envelopes here as well. But I just feel that there's so much bias in the media generally, depending on who owns the media houses. That we're seeing it at a higher level now, even in the US. And again, do we see brown envelopes as such compared with in Nigeria? So I think it goes beyond. That's just what I was thinking when I was listening in to people's opinion. That I think it even goes deeper than just the issue of brown envelope, and it still speaks to the fact that it depends on what political or whatever other leanings that people are reporting from. You know, that's just what I wanted to start with.
Brown envelope is a metaphor. You understand? It comes in different forms, shapes, comes on.
Thank you so much, Femi. I appreciate what you just said. There was a video I played earlier. I think at that time it was muted. You guys didn't hear me, but we're not advocating violence here. We're only talking about that was a local government chairman who the people caught in somewhere in the West, and they decided to let him see the other side of midnight. Anyway, so we'll talk about that later on. But let's move on. Maska, you're welcome.
Thank you, KG. And is it evening there or afternoon?
It depends on which side.
It depends on where you are.
That's what we tell the end news too. It depends on where you did.
All right. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good to see you guys once again. Femi, well done. All right. So I like you to frame stuff so that one will not go out of point.
Okay, yeah. We are actually furthering the discussion we had earlier. You know, a lot of people were of the view, including Ovie, who is representing forefather group now, that you know, the Nigerian journalist is not doing well at all because we are being afraid to ask the pertinent question and be able to, you know, put our lives on the line. According to forefather, if you cannot do the work, you should get out. Why should you be a journalist and be afraid to die? And I told him that our mode of operation is different from that of the soldiers. And even the soldiers who have signed to die, just don't go to the war front and go and die. They have to at least give their best. So we as journalists, when you leave your house, and just like Jonaba puts it clearly, you leave your house to come back. You say goodbye to your parents, your children, and say, I will come back. You're not going to go and sacrifice your life, you know, for something that will not result to anything. I mean, Jonaba captured everything that, and of course, Tony, you know, and then now Femi, which is that when you see yourself in harm's way and you know that you're not going to get any help, do you go ahead or do you now use sense to protect your life? Ovie is of the view that because the media are owned by individuals, we should not bother about the individual interests. When they are sent to go and do a report, be concerned about the Nigerian people and report it the way it is. Don't, if your guy say you should not, don't listen to the advice your guy is giving you, because that doesn't matter. The what matters is the Nigerian people. And my question to him is that, does he know where Delegiwa children are? And does the Nigerian media, Nigerian Union of Journalists, for which I am a member, have we ever celebrated Delegiwa Day? Do we have a Delegiwa Day where Nigerian media recognize the role that Delegiwa played in investigative journalism? Okay. And then, because you're not an investigative journalist, does it mean that
your frame is too long, KJ? Why would you?
No, I just want you to understand
Yeah, because it's not reporting, it's not giving an accurate report. That's what we are talking about here. Sorry, okay. Master, to cut it short, we are talking about, they are arguing that.
No, there's no problem of it. I mean, me, I have a good ground in this matter. It's actually one of my issues, my grounds with humanity at this present point. You know, like I said during the main show, I really believe that as a human being, none of us is pious. None of us is that righteous. None of us is that, 100% moralistic. We all have our bad days. We do bad things, all of us here. But where I stand is that, at least to myself, when I'm doing the wrong thing, I should tell myself, this thing you're doing is wrong. And I don't like going to go and justify. I know that what I'm doing is wrong. And then publicly, I want to justify my actions. I really don't like it. That's more like a teaser for you, KJ. But my position is simple. Journalists are the biggest liars, and the annoying part is that they come and tell you that they keep talking about truth. They make it look as if they are honest people, and they are very dishonest people. Go and listen to Fox, and you'll be like, is it the same Iran war that I'm looking at, or is it a different matter? At the same thing, when you go and listen to, say, an NTA, in fact, it was journalists that pushed me out of this country. Because when you sit down to listen to TV, it's like you are just fighting with everybody around you, until I realized that, okay, it's these people that are always making me angry. But the bottom line of it, KJ, is that what you are simply telling people is that Nigerian journalists are not journalists. They are hustlers. They are using journalism as a hustle. And the story is simple. If you are truly a journalist, you are supposed to be more brave than the soldier. Because what do they say? They say that the pen is mightier than the sword, isn't it? And what do they say about people who live by the sword? They die by the sword. So if your pen is mightier than the sword, how can you say that you are not as courageous as a soldier? And I hear you, KJ, when you talk about Delegiwa. Are you suggesting to me that Delegiwa didn't know that he was putting himself at risk?
Okay, so the question you're asking me, Masker, I didn't say that. And every journalist knows what is at stake. But you want to do it where there will be some understanding and some recognition of what you have done. I'll give you an example. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, have they declared any day that journalists will now gather to have a Delegiwa ceremony to talk about the effect of and the result that Delegiwa achieved for us? Have we ever celebrated the first newspapers and whether it is the NCNC or the African Pilot or any of those early newspapers to say this is the day that we find out we want to trace back our origin? No. Now, and nothing in this world that is more pertinent than when somebody pays the ultimate price. And so such people should be celebrated, whether we like their policy or not. They have shed their blood on it. And so we should be able to create a time where we all meet to say, this man, this was what he did. Where are his children now? What is happening to them? Did they become some people that we can refer to? Or do they become, people who are falling by the wayside? So when you see how this...
All right, so okay, maybe I should allow you to finish, KJ.
But I just have two things to say. When you see how those people are treated, you don't want to put yourself in that way, because if anything happens to you, it will be to your mother, to your father, to your children, to your wife. That's all. They were the only one who will feel it. After that, the country moves on. We are quick to moving on. That's that's what we are saying. So every journalist have to practice with some form of sense. Anyway, that's my own idea. I don't know about yours.
Okay, no, I agree with you, Kechi, but halfway. I agree with you to the extent that, look, there's no sense, there's no point when you know that by crossing the road, motor will run you over. There's no point crossing the road at that point. You might as well wait for the motor to pass. At the end of the day, crossing the street is crossing the street. Okay, as a journalist, you can't go, even if you are reporting a war, I would expect you to be careful. But the reality also is that if you say because you don't want to die, you are not going to go and report a war, what I will advise you is that you should no longer be a journalist. There are many other professions. You can't come and purport that you are a journalist, and meanwhile, you don't want to carry the risk that come along with that profession. Look, the choice is clear. You are not a journalist. You are just hustling under the guise of journalism. And this is what I keep saying about Nigeria. It's the same thing with all our... Look, this argument, if we take it, everybody in Nigeria will be excused. You, KJ, cannot use your mouth to accuse Tinubu again, because there is a risk that comes with his profession. But if he said that, okay, today I want to be a politician, I want to be the president, it means that he should act like a president with all the issues that come around it, with the people he will hurt, with all the possibility that he will be removed and everything. If you say you want to be a teacher, you cannot be looking for what do you call it, benefits. You should do it for the reason why you are a teacher. If you say you want to be an athlete like Ove is, you cannot say, oh no, you are not going to train. If you are going to be an athlete, you have to understand that, oh, this thing takes... My son is a footballer. The first thing I told him that, look, you've chosen a profession that I don't understand, because I'm not like that. In my life, I like to understand what I can control, what I cannot control. Football, 99% you are not in control. You are playing very good football. The coach will just be angry. He removes you. That you play this match doesn't mean you play the next match. I don't like that kind of... So, but if the guy has decided he wants to be, and he is, I think this is where we miss it in this country. A politician should understand what politics means and should do it well. If you are a driver, you have to understand that there are risks. That's why we are surprised that this Boko Haram is dealing with us. Because half of the soldiers, with due respect to our soldiers, half of them, especially at the top, they are not really fighters. They are just looking for money. We know this one. A lot of them have been tried. The evidence is there. There's so much corruption within the military. If you're truly a committed military man, that you've gone to carry the uniform to protect your country, why that? Look at our police. Every issue, police will come like 30 minutes after the issue. And I tell people, half of the police will bribe to enter the police. It's just to go there and hustle. Anyone you meet on the road, you say, oh God, we're here. Oh. Okay, is that one police? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same with our police. Our journalists cannot use their mouth to insult a police, because they're all the same. Everybody is just hustling. I listen to even the pressures. Sincerely speaking, I mean, these are not, with due respect, that's not journalism. What is the journalism she's doing?
Okay.
Because somebody asked her a question like, she said, no, suddenly in her mind, like, okay, no, this one is not her work. Her work is just to do podcasts, which is okay. If you're a podcaster, you cannot come and tell me you're a journalist. Because even me, not as a non-journalist, I can do like, if you look at America, for instance, I don't think this guy now, what's his name? This guy that do, is it PBD or something? PD, what's his name?
We don't know. I don't know him. Maybe Ovie will know him. Okay,
That guy is not a journalist.
Yes, Patrick Bet David.
Patrick, thank you. God bless you. Patrick cannot say he cannot say he's a journalist.
No,
Yeah,
That guy is a businessman.
but if you go in that direction, you probably not be right, because
But he employed journalists.
yeah,
Do
and
research to do all.
That's what I'm saying. He cannot sit with me and say he's a journalist. I'll slap him.
Maska, is Rufai Oseni, is he a journalist?
No, he is a journalist. Rufai Oseni is a journalist. Let me tell you the two things that would make Rufai Oseni qualify as a journalist in my eyes. I believe that a journalist is a seeker. They go on our behalf to dig and find out what is buried. A journalist should not come and show me what is sitting on the table that I can see. That's not journalism.
That's go and dig. What Rufai is doing.
Yes, you go and dig. He's going to bring up a lot of things that we didn't even know and put it in front of the man and ask him to respond. I may not like him. In fact, let me say I don't like him. But I cannot deny the fact that that guy is a journalist. He's one of the few journalists we have. But he will do the research. He will read. He will try to understand the subject deeper than the average person and bring some understanding to the discussions. That's number one. Number two, this is the point I'm making. Rufai Oseni knows that every time he's challenging somebody, he's putting his job on the table. Because this is Nigeria. This guy you are insulting may be friend to your Oga. And before you know it, tomorrow you're out on the code. It's not that he will go and ask his Oga that should I do like this or do. The man is putting his look, not just his credibility, not just his job, but the fact of the matter is that in this country, people don't forgive people easily. They can come after you. This is what all of us here we know. So you can finish that story you do inside the studio. When somebody start coming for you, the country will not go and rally around you because you are Rufai Oseni. But the man understands that. But still, he stands on his ground on the issues that he thinks are important issues. Anyway, let me not talk too much.
Master, can I ask you a question?
Let's hear. Yes, Tony, go ahead.
What's your definition of a journalist?
I've said it now. Maybe you're not listening.
No. What's your because it has to be in tandem with the professional definition of what a journalist is.
No.
Okay, your own definition is different.
Exactly. Who would be
okay? So you have a lexicon for the definition of a journalist different from what the professional definition is.
Yes, because this
okay. That's my question.
But for me, this is the whole point that journalists, as a profession, they are very deceptive. They say that they are telling people the truth, but 80% of them would dish you propaganda. If you are not savvy, you eat it and you get yourself constipated. So my definition of a journalist, like I said, is a seeker. Somebody who would not take the very obvious, want to go and dig deep and find out what is truly the story. And when he understands that, okay, this is the story, sometimes at the risk of either his profession or a lot of them even at the risk of their safety, they would make sure that they bring that story to truth. I can give you a very good example of, he may not be a standard journalist, but I think Stanley, I can't remember his two other names. There's this guy, Dr. Livingstone, who came to Africa, I think in the 1720 or 18 something. This guy came to Africa. He trekked for a good 1 year inside the jungle just to go and find out where is this man and report back what is the state of the man, what are his findings. That is journalism. That is journalism, to go and dig and find out, and at great risk, not at comfort, great risk.
Okay, I think hold on, Master. We'll have to bring some clarity here. You see, the Nigerian Union of Journalists don't only have people who are writers or people who are investigators. They also have people who are experts in other fields. Because, for instance, in a media house where I work, which is a broadcast station, you have people who are just floor managers. They only manage what is available. You have people who are continuity managers. They continuously tell you where things are. You have people who are script writers. You have people who, vet the scripts. You have people who job is to make sure the lights are in the right places. You have people whose job is to make sure that the talent, the person we're going to interview, is well made up and everything is in place. Now, at the end of the day, I'm coming, sir. It's not everybody who goes out there to dive into a local, to dive into a local area to go and source out what is there. So again, you see, I don't know how to explain any longer because now you say you don't.
I will ask you just two questions, KJ, that will debunk all this your story you're telling. The guy who is guarding in front of a radio station, is he a journalist? The guy who is driving all these people that go around, is he a journalist?
Okay, it depends. It depends on what you call it. It's not going to be the ID card they're going to issue to you to be the media house he works for.
Does that make him? Does the ID card? This is the issue now. You've just finished it. Does the ID card issued to you?
Hold on. A guy who is cooking food for the army, who is cooking food. That's the people who work in the restaurant, the army headquarters. Are they army? Are they army people? Can you call them army people? The nurse who treats the wounded in the.
Wait, now you ask a question. You are in a hurry to look. I can tell you for fact, okay, that the guy who is cooking food in the military, okay, is an army person because he will have the requisite training. You know very well that if you wear that uniform, there will be training behind it.
Okay, I want to tell you also now, as we're having practice, that those people who carry us, who drive us, they too will give them training for because when you are operating on ground, you need a lot of people. Sometimes you get to a place. In fact, I have turned I don't want to say my driver, the guy who drives us, to actor. I've given him many roles. He has acted before. He has done some things. He has done many things on ground to the point that he can tell you some of the things we do when we get to a location.
And I will call that guy driver. I will call him a journalist, not minding the fact that people will see him as a driver. I will call him a journalist if you will do what true journalists.
So because of just like Ovie said, because the proximity of the working relationship that you have in the media house, majority of the people who are there Nigeria's space doesn't give you all the ability to employ everybody who will help you. So you do everything, everybody will do everything and everybody will do everything. So because of that this thing, and I think it happens in many places in Africa, you become an expert one way or the other in some of the things. You may not have gone to school for it, but you become an expert in that area. Okay. And so all I want you guys to do is to cut a slack to the Nigerian journalists. They are doing much.
No, forget it.
Okay. All right, let's hear.
Sorry, just 1 minute, KT.
Okay.
Because increasingly, I'm seeing the importance of journalism. Because at the end of the day, they more or less have the narrative. They own the narrative. And the people who would have the responsibility to hold the narrative, they should be the same way we are holding government to account. This is the same way I believe we should be calling our journalists and be holding them to account, KG.
Okay.
Instead of speaking.
All right.
My criticism of journalists is not just about journalists in Nigeria. It's almost across all the professions. Okay, a lot of our teachers are actually not teachers. Honestly, they are just they are there in the university just to be harassing girls. Honestly, they are really not teachers. When they go to real teacher conference, you will see that these people will sit quietly. They don't know their left from their right about teaching. There's nothing they will talk about teaching when they are talking about teaching.
All right, let's move on. Thank you so much. And this Dan Issa or Dan Isaiah, I don't understand you, but if you just want to know, I'm sure that banter is not for me, but if you want to know, I was admitted to read law. It was me who changed it. Okay? So it doesn't mean that those who are journalists are less intelligent than those of you who read law or read medicine. It's just what you choose to do for yourself. Okay? And that doesn't have anything to do with whether the people are practicing properly or not. It doesn't have anything to do with it. because we know that.
Jim, I actually have a friend that read law in Nigeria and is a PhD medical doctor here in
Yes.
America. So I don't know what. I don't
We don't even
understand
need to
that.
go far. If he here read different thing, I should do different thing here. Anyway, Chim, you're welcome. It's good to see you. Comrade, you're welcome also. It's good to see you. I don't know. Let's hear from Chim so before we move to Tony, please.
I know the subject, but can you just help me bring me up to speed so that I can be talking?
Yeah, Pablo, who is my good friend, and Masca are holding brief that we have not done anything, different from what. In fact, we have actually lowered the quality of journalism in Nigeria because we are no longer brave enough to stand and speak the truth. In fact, Masca has a different view. He said the journalists are liars. In fact, they try to twist the story and not even report what they are seeing, and that has made it.
I make you what to look like they are telling you the truth.
Just like you are twisting our words now, so.
No, I'm only trying to paraphrase it. I think
okay.
Sorry, I beg, Ejo, please bear with me. What I need to add, because KJ now is doing propaganda on me, so I need to even add the other ones that I haven't said. What I did not say is that they have allowed people like Dele Giwa, Nigerian journalists of today, have allowed Dele Giwa to die in vain.
Thank you. That was where I was going, because when I came in, I went out. I just got in, so I quickly wanted to eat something before joining you guys. And I heard when you were, both of you were going on Dele Giwa and his defense on why Dele Giwa literally has died in vain. But truly honest, did Dele Giwa die in vain? I don't think so. I don't think so. He didn't die in vain. You see, just because Nigerian society is a place where we have a culture. First of all, don't forget, and I'm not digressing. Our country, all of us here, we're part of the guilt. The system is not a system that follows process. We don't have a maintenance culture. That's why we build edifices 10 years down the line. Nobody says, oh, this edifice is due for renovation after 4 years. After 4 years, we'll go renovate it. We don't do that. But in the places where all of us live, excluding Masca, the road on your street has a time frame for maintenance. The time is supposed to be maintained. The local council will come and maintain it. They don't need the governor, if it's a country where they have governor or mayor, to come and talk about it. The local will go fix it. It's that same mindset that makes us, like what KJ was saying, the NUG or whoever is responsible does not know that, listen, we need to have an award to recognize people who have been performing well so that we can encourage other people to see that this is the light, this is the standard we're setting. Let's live up to this standard. But everywhere else, they have those standards. Nigeria is just a funny place. And I'm not here to complain and not seek solution before somebody says, oh, I'm here now to complain. But let's say it as it is. Dele Giwa did not die in vain. But from the time of Dele Giwa and Ray Ekpo and all those people, the standard for professional journalism has been falling gradually. It doesn't mean at the time when Dele Giwa was there were no brown envelopes. There were also brown envelopes, but it was not as prevalent. Listen, there's no society that is 100% perfect at any given point in time. There will always be people who are, behind the scene doing bullshit. All I'm simply saying is the Nigerian journalists are doing a good job in some instances. There are people who are trying to keep the flame, keep the torch flying. But majority of the people in that industry, starting with the people who own, in fact, the moment we started over-liberalizing our media, and I'm not against liberalizing, things started going down the drain. When an Ojus or Carlo, and you know me, I will call names, so I'm not here to not call names, will buy a newspaper and own Son. Why will Ojus or Carlo buy Son? What is he going to do with it? He wants to start influencing his own narrative. And then somebody somewhere will say, oh, I'm not paying you salary, but I'm giving you a platform. And we know who does this. So there was nothing that was said today that I haven't heard. Somebody's telling me, well, I'm not going to pay you salary. I provided you a platform. Do what you want with it. When did journalism become that kind of thing? That the media house, the owner of the media house will now say, because I've employed you, I'm giving you a platform, do as you like. In other words, you're telling the person to go and take brown envelope. Those are the points we are making. These things are falling. And because of it, like Masca said, everybody is now falling down to survive. Listen, survival is not supposed to be the primary thing anybody focuses on in their profession. It should be something that just comes logically from doing your job. The military officer knows that there will be the possibility of him being pied in the call of duty. He knows that, I mean, if he's protecting Asura, for instance, and God forbid, people should get me right, some people want to plan a coup, that if he's the one on duty on the day they're planning the coup, he might lose his life. This is evident. Or if they send him to Sambisa, that will happen. Similarly, when the guy who uncovered Watergate, the journalist, he knew what he was going in for. He could have been executed. He could have been. Don't forget, this America we are seeing, people used to assassinate people too. Let's not forget that. That we don't see it happening anymore doesn't mean they never had it. They did have it. A journalist could be made to. You suddenly hear this person is missing. He's been taken off because of the information he has. But this thing comes with the territory. It comes with the assignment. But to sit down here and say, so when I die now, my picking who go pay? Then, like Masker said, and which is my view, don't go into that. Don't go into that. You will pay a price. That's why it's called sacrifice. You will pay a price. But if you want to go and do the job, like he said, using Rufai Hussaini, the guy asks questions, he pisses people off, but he will hold them accountable. We've seen him. I mean, God, remember the Jesu, the guy from Delta State who was a staunch supporter of Tinubu, who went there and was defending, and he kept asking. Guess what? The hunger of the man he put in office killed him. I'm sorry to say. May his soul rest. We know who I'm talking about. He had a shouting bout, but he held that guy accountable. I kept asking, "Are you sure this thing you are supporting is right?"
Oh, Onokbasa, just to tell you, Onokbasa.
Thank you, Onokbasa. Thank you, sir. Onokbasa. But guess what? Onokbasa is gone today. But go back and watch that video. Somebody would have thought that that Rufai was a madman that day. They went at it. So my point is, and I'm supporting Mask 100%. If you know you can't go into that territory, step aside. I'm sorry, step aside. We want to have people who will go into any profession and do it with their mind. If you go in to be a lawyer, we saw Delegiwa. It wasn't because anybody was backing Delegiwa. It wasn't because Delegiwa had any automobile. The guy took on government and even took this president. If it was not for some saboteur lawyers, Tinubu wouldn't be at national prominence today. Because that man, Delegiwa, was one of those who went out for him and said, no, this is cheating. This guy can't get away with this. Until Baba Shokwe's system got into it. And so then went back and started trying to do their Baba Shokwe. That's how this guy has survived today.
All right, Chim, on this issue, I don't know. Me and you no agree. Okay, not to agree. Let's hear from Comrade Mori before we come to Tony.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Yes, sir.
My voice is not too good, but I'll force my voice to speak. This is about the third time we're having a similar conversation. KJ, with all due respect, this is not personal, right? Like James said, I like the way they are contributing to the topic. I'm benefiting a lot from it. If there's anything I've benefited from this program, this show has been able to answer Dr. Damage's question of who did this to us. If he has not gotten the answer, either he's not following his own show or he's not sincere. I know he's a very sincere and he tribalized somebody. Sometimes we get the raw fact from here. Even if we have not started implementing them yet or carving a pathway to where we hope to go, a lot of people have courage to speak truth to power on this platform. KJ, each time you come here, I know that is your professional constituency. You try as much as possible to be economical with the truth, or you try to defend them, which is within your right to do so. Like James said, if you cannot take the heat, why go into the kitchen? Until we begin to take responsibilities for our actions and inactions, we go nowhere as a country. If you are making excuses for journalists, do you even call that one you have Nigeria at the moment journalism? Does that resemble journalism the way you were taught in the classroom? Does that resemble practical? What they are doing is content creation at best. That is the best show you can give to them. They are creating content. Oh, somebody picked something from social media, They sit there in the morning. He arrives, we applaud today. The other one, channels, we applaud today. They sit there in the morning. They're telling you, they're talking about trending. What is trending? What is trending? And we are there in our thousands, listening to them, listening to courageous people like Rufai. What has happened to our investigative journalism? Yeah, KJ, this is a question for everybody here. You don't need to answer because I will not give you the chance. I don't want to stop. Does it not surprise you that it takes a Makegini to come and even tell our politicians the fraudulent clauses that were inserted into the new electoral act? Even the players of the games are not aware. What happens to the journalists around them? What happens to people that work with them? Even the players of the game, they don't know rules of the game. So it doesn't make any difference to them because they are not different from those that are there right now. They don't see anything different from what anybody is doing. Because if they have opportunity, they will do same or probably do worse. So we must be able to hold ourselves accountable to what we do to ourselves every day. For our actions and inactions, or else we go nowhere as a nation. Don't make excuse for these people. You just sit down and somebody will invite you, give you before you arrive. He has already told you, he has already set the limit for you. So you are there just there for what you can get. You are there for what they have told you, what they have teleguided you to say. KJ, with all due respect, this argument came up some time ago, and this was the only reason why a young man trying to do his best in a very dangerous environment, who is able to do his best, get the best out of his profession, out of personal conviction. The question we were asking him here, I was so appalled. I was so disgusted. In fact, I was so, flabbergasted. People telling him, somebody came here to say, just go and, I will advise you to just go and marry. Just be careful. Why not go and do something else? What were me? Who has reduced us to this? And the same people, KJ, sometimes we want to ask, the same reason why you guys were talking to that young man like that, not even trying to encourage him, you just go and born into the same society that is not even convinced that he's going to survive. To somebody that was advising to just go and marry and give birth, giving birth was the best that person feels it can happen to anybody, or getting married. Because you are married, the young man is not married yet, you think you are better than him. When do we start taking the right way? And when do we start doing the right things? A young man is being haunted for trying to do his best within a dangerous society, in a lion's den, where he can be consumed at any time. All we can tell him is just leave the country. Why not just leave what you are doing? Why not just go and try something else? Let me tell you, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a soldier, whether you are a teacher, if your primary aim of going into profession is just to put food on your table, you're not prepared. As a doctor, even if 100 people dies, even if 100 people die every day, you don't care, because your immediate concern there is what you can get. Even if you are a teacher, your students don't come to class. At the end of the day, this is why lecturers can take money and give dash A's out to students who were never in class for one day. So the same people here we sit down. This is the same reason why Tinubu will get to Jos. He couldn't even step out of the airport because the immediate concern is not really for the victims. He was just there for the show. So if you cannot do your job, you're not courageous enough to do your job as a journalist, and there the consequences, you blame Tinubu for not stepping out of the airport. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn about you. He doesn't give a damn about the people. He's just there for political optics. He's just there for the show, for political popularity. He doesn't really care if 1 million Nigerians die. The same thing, because he has to protect his life. His life matters to him more than the people that were wasted in Jos. So you have no moral justification too to ask a lecturer who will not come to class probably once in a while. At the end of the day, grace for sale or sales for grade. You not do something different.
Okay.
Where do we? No, let me learn, please. Let me learn. If this is the opportunity I have, I've been trying to speak on this issue. I don't want to make it look as if it's a personal thing. So the same reason why a military man will abandon his duty post when they are faced with a superior or inferior firearm. He didn't go into the military because of he wants to change the narrative. He's getting there just to get paid and go to his house. The same thing police is doing on the road. So you don't have moral justification to blame them, because if your primary conviction for going into that profession is what you can get salary, about the money, who pays your bill, you don't need to even go into journalism, except you're telling me you didn't know ab initio what you were going into. The same way, as an activist, you say, yeah, you want to confront the system. Sometimes some people feel you are crazy. How can you be normal and be doing this? Like what they say to Shore every time. You can't be normal and be confronting military and civilian dictatorship for over 30 years. Are you okay? They call him madman. The same people calling him madman are actually those ones that need a bed in psychiatric hospital, because they don't even understand what the man is doing. They don't have the courage to do it. They are not there to support him. They wonder, what are you doing this for? The first thing they ask him, what is your benefit? Like the lady that came here today, very sorry to say this. I will end with this one. I called into a show one day when forefather was asking her some questions. Some people were trying to be smart by half. I called into a show when Showore was holding a protest for Nnamdi Kanu. The first thing she told me, I know you hate her. Unfortunately, she's not here. The first thing she told me, I know you hate Obi. I'm like, where is this one coming from? What we were discussing, the issue was take, the question, there was nothing related to Obi on that day. I know you hate Obi. Like, who told you I hate Obi? This, you are not being professional here. So later she now said, oh, actually you didn't say anything about Obi. Is that journalism? Is that what you call journalism? I know you hate Obi was the first attack. If
Okay,
I come here, another thing you take recently, where the forefather was trying to bring out, when the same Hunde David was accusing Showore of getting money from Fund Foundation, she was so happy. They applauded Hunde to high heavens. Then when they say Hunde, same personality, within a few months a gap, came here to say, accuse the Benue guy of working for the vested interest somewhere in America. The hearts were broken. They felt they were taking up balance. The same David that used to be their beautiful bride broke their heart on that day. You were not comfortable because that was not what they wanted to hear. What kind of journalism is that? This is not journalism.
Can you stop? Thank you so much. I'm trying, please, when you come to this platform, don't make it look as if your own opinion is the best opinion and that we almost bow to it. It's your own opinion, you're entitled to it. And any other person here is entitled to his. It doesn't mean that whatever you state, that is how it is. Okay? And, just like before I got to this program, I was discussing AI with somebody. And he said the training that he went to do in New York, is simply meaning that going forward, we're no longer going to have anything called truth, because they saw how truth was manipulated by these things. So now that we're all moving towards a charter, uncharted territory, let's be a bit more careful when we say certain things, because what you are saying may not necessarily be. It may be fast for you, but may not necessarily be the truth of the situation. Now, I won't say that. I don't think if you ask the majority of Nigerian journalists, they'll probably hold David Hunde in the way you are holding, or people think he's supposed to be up there. He's not the first investigative journalist in Nigeria, and I'm not trying to put him down anyway. But I'm also trying to say in the same sense that what you said about Precious Enyi is not, for me, I don't, she's not here. So saying all that in her absence, I don't think that's good. And so I will stand to say that what you said.
We are interpreting what she said earlier.
Hold on.
On the show. I come on the show.
That's your view. She's not here to defend herself.
She doesn't need to be here. So she probably will listening. We are making reaction to what she said earlier. Forefather was almost a victim, another victim of her show. What kind of journalism is that?
Can you not
with biased mind?
No. Like I said, truth is relative right now. It is what you feel. That is, she also have the right to what she feels. And just like she said earlier, when somebody is holding a program, he may be covering an area and you thinking he should cover the left side, but he's covering the right side. It's a matter of perspective. And sometimes what you are thinking should come true is not what is being asked. Some of us here have said that Urufai is, even though may not be liked, but ask the question. There are some people who say he doesn't ask the right question. He doesn't ask it as a journalist should ask it. So it depends. All of us, it's shades of gray, everywhere. So having said that, again, you see, you people are too quick to bring in the Nigerian journalists down. If we're not doing the work they're supposed to be doing, I think by now the country would have been worse off. And it's not everybody who's, give an example. You, comrade, you are not in Nigeria. Your comradeship, you should go back to Nigeria now and do it so that we also see how you are doing it.
I'm more in Nigeria than everywhere you think. I'm more in Nigeria. I'm always there.
Okay, so when you go
Nigeria, more than you think.
When you go now,
and I do more for Nigeria than those that live in Nigeria. I have a bullet. If you don't mind, I'll show you my bullet tool on my body. I'm ready to take more, if need be. I'm not scared of anything. I died a long time ago, and I've conquered death. At 18, I already conquered death. Not because I'm not going to die, because I'm not scared to die.
Comrade, calm down. You see,
no, you are chasing me, making it personal. I'm not scared.
No, calm down now. Calm down. You see, the way you have taken bullets also is the way other people have taken things you don't know. Not because they're not coming out to tell you. Okay, so everybody have their own, everybody have their own story. So I'm not here to defend the Nigerian journalist, but I'm just speaking. So let's balance out whatever we are talking about. All right, thank you. NWC, you had a brush with journalism, so I think you also have something very important to say. Can we hear you before we go to Tony?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I didn't follow the topic, but I know the last time when I joined the Rudolph show, I didn't see when he interviewed the guest, but I learned it's about the practice of journalism and confronting truth, or how they report events in the country vis-a-vis government gag behavior towards journalism and how they navigate it. Well, I will say that it's not easy practicing journalism in Nigeria. The many traps are there for journalists, but the key matter is that many of them are under pressure not to report the truth as it were, because of threats from both the government and most especially from their proprietors, who are strictly in for business, and many of whom have affiliation with the government of the day just to keep their business flowing. So that is why some of the reporters themselves have chosen the honorable way to live and leave that profession completely. Some went into private business, some started doing their own private practice, some went overseas, and some just went under the radar completely. Those who are still there, who are still putting their heads above water, we need to commend them despite the situation. But we know that it is sad that many of them, because of the need to put food on their table and to remain relevant on the side of government, we see them talking from both sides of their mouth, or we see them speaking blatant lie or aligning completely with government against the people without necessarily knowing it. That is what we see now. So, but I still believe that all these things are because the government, all these things stems from the military era. The government behaves as if we are in military era. But even at that military era time, there were courageous ones. Some were even roped into coup that they didn't know about, and they paid. Some of them paid the price by going to jail. Came out and still remain strong. But it appears that today it is so sad. But when people say that, I won't use one brush to paint all the journalists. Some are still working hard to keep Nigerians abreast with the truth. All these things we see sometimes from some scoops or exclusive we see sometimes are those courageous ones bringing those things out. Some of them have even devised a means of having their own private YouTube channels with pseudonyms that they use in sending out the truth that they know, which they cannot normally use their main media houses to propagate because of the sanctions they may face from either the owner of the ownership, even the editors. A journalist might go out, get a scoop. But I know those is when we are in the job. Sometimes you can get a scoop. You'll be so enthusiastic. Your editor will say, "Go ahead, go get the information. You go do your investigations and all that. You bring it out." The editor himself may be willing to allow it go to press for publication, the net for Nigerians to see it that moment. But suddenly he has to get clearance from his boss. The boss will say, keep it away for now. Let's see how many other news media may have reported it. Or let's even see if then NTA was almost like the number one. They say, let's see if NTA even give a little info about it, then we'll report more. So I will not be on the wrong side of the law. This were mainly in those military era. But we're in democracy now. If we really want to say we are practicing democracy, just like it is practiced in the Western world, I believe the press should be courageous. I know some of them now, like this new law NBC brought out. Many of them are challenging it. But the proprietors themselves should be up and doing. But unfortunately, many of them are compromised. Either they have gained one big, they have been in relationship with some people in government and don't want to hurt that relationship which span many decades. That is the problem we have. But I don't know. We have to keep, we have to, all of us, most of us here who were in the job before, and some of us who know that Nigeria needs to be rescued, we have to keep pointing out all this. But I will still appeal that we shouldn't paint all the pressmen with one brush, that they are maybe collecting bribe, doing this or not doing enough. Some of them receive threats, but they will not want to say it. Some of them really receive threats from within and without. Let me stop here so far. Thank you.
Bro, what is bad in receiving threat as a journalist?
Okay.
If you don't receive threat, if you don't receive threat, you're not doing your job.
No, some receive
life
threat,
is a threat. Your life is a threat. You're coming out everything from your house. You're eating. You're going there. You're driving your car. Everything is a threat. Life is not fair.
Some receive threat, but they still go ahead to do the job. You see, some of them have even been kidnapped, arrested, and they don't mind. But many others shaking out. That's the problem. So few are in the battlefront.
Okay.
Threat or no threat.
And we say I like what you said. Comrade, please calm down. We don't want it to be right. Let's just have a conducive discussion. And now
I apologize. That's my voice. I'm not angry. That's my voice.
Okay.
I'm
now
forcing
we'll have
myself
a
to
lady
talk.
in our midst.
I apologize for that.
In front of a lady. Biko. All right. I wanted to go to Tony, but now that Dr. Adama is here, let's hear from her before we go to Tony. Tony, please be patient with us. I beg you.
Greetings to all the panelists. Mr. Tony, thank you for allowing me to speak. Comrade, I came in because of you. I just want to understand, please, sir, why are you yelling? This is not like you. Eh?
Dr. Adam, I apologize. My voice is wrong. I'm trying to forcing myself to speak. I'm not angry. I'm not yelling. Please. It's just the nature of my voice. Please.
Okay, thank you.
Wike is my uncle. He's in our DNA.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just want to say I missed Precious show. Ovie. Are you listening? Can you see me?
Brother man is high. Leave him alone.
No, I came in specially. Can't you see how I'm dressed? I want Ovie to notice this dress, you know.
That cannot see. Is you that cannot see? Is you that cannot see me now? You're glasses.
Ovie is overshadowed by his ancestors. He has a lot of political ancestors around him, so you can't see him. He's not visible.
Okay. This is why I came in. I just want to say. Yes, this is what I want to say. Please, I came to appreciate my sister Precious. She did a great job. Please, if you think what she's doing as a woman in journalist is easy, please create your own network. YouTube is free.
But nobody
Any
is
one
talking
of us.
about her now. She's not the subject matter.
No, okay, please, Shim, let me speak now. You know, I didn't say anything. You just jumped on me. And I don't know why you not mute. You should be mute. KJ called me, not you. Thank you. So please, if you don't like what she said, Mr. Mori, I heard what you said. What triggered me? You said Tunaija is a victim. Tunaija is not a victim. His church is what got him into trouble. So, and I really enjoyed that show. So if you didn't watch it, please go and watch it, sir.
What about me? I was a victim too.
I know you're not a victim, sir. Comrade, that person will see you, they say you be victim. I beg, not talk that thing.
I was intimidated out of the show.
Comrade, you're never a victim. This is what I want you to say. I want you all to understand. If you all think it's easy being a moderator, we all that are moderator, Chim is a moderator, KJ is a moderator, including Mr. Tony, is a moderator. He doesn't know it, but I put him in moderator status. Please, we'll be honored to have one of you guys come and host and moderate for us. When you're in that position, you have to be fair. You can't be biased. So what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, please, nobody that goes to a public space is a victim. And journalism in Nigeria is not something that we can wake up and say is easy. We have a journalist who is the moderator of the show today. So please, let's listen from the expert at the end of the day. Omori, comrade, I came in because of you. I know if you see my face now, you know, but yeah, I beg. That your voice now, wake me up from sleep. I say make I sleep small, but as soon as I hear your voice, I couldn't sleep. Thank you, KJ. You all have a good one.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mahagakweni now. Without, Okay, Tony, thank you so much for being patient. Let's hear from you. First and foremost, Tony, I want you, do you know the new rule that NBC just released concerning the Nigerian media houses and the instruction given to them? Why, as you're talking, can you include that also, so that those who don't know the environment that's created can get a hands on what is going on, and what are what the obstacles you have to overcome to be able to hold a radio show or a TV show or even write your paper in Nigeria?
KJ, that's a loaded one you are giving to me, but I'll try. First of all, I think it is wrong for people to just castigate journalists here. And I think it's outlandish to say that someone who has over 20 years media practice, went to school, had a qualification, registered member of Nigerian Union of Journalists, and still in practice, to be regarded as someone who doesn't know what he's doing, not a journalist. I think it's wrong. I like what Ndubuisi. I like to listen to people like Ndubuisi, KJ, and Dr. Damages, because these are people who have been at one time in practice, and so and I don't think there's anybody here, who also is a journalist. So we can't pretend to know more than them. They have been in the field. They have done their bit. And a journalist, you don't become a journalist because you have taken some bullets. That's not the definition of journalism. I try to look at the.
You don't have to be a doctor to know a good doctor too.
Excuse
Why
me,
do you
please.
go to a good doctor?
Excuse me, please.
He just referred to me there.
Wait,
don't
become a doctor before you know a good doctor.
You have come again, no. You are a rabble rather. You cause trouble here. Why you interjecting?
You are a radical.
That's why they sent you away.
Comrade,
it's a behavior you exhibit here all the time.
I know you have special.
Can you keep quiet and let me talk?
Stop.
Nobody interjected when you're speaking.
Please stop. We gave you your time. Let him speak now. We all gave you your time. Okay? All right.
I understand the journalist to be someone who gathers, who verifies, who reports, who presents news and information to the public. And in that, within that field, you can have reporters, you can have those who are investigative journalists, you can have correspondents, you can have columnists and analysts, you can have data journalists, you can even have photo and video journalists. So it depends on what field that you want to play. And now with social media and so on, so we also see several other dimensions of it. I think it is wrong for people to come here and say that if you are not ready to die in your profession, then it disqualifies you from being, whatever you profess to be. I think that's outlandish, because that's not the criteria. People go into professions for various reasons, and there are various diverse fields. In the military, there are those who are in the armory, there are those who are communication experts, there are those who are medical doctors, there are those who are nurses. I mean, there are those who fly, who parachute. There are those in special squads, and so on and so forth. Everybody has his own role that he plays, and everybody contributes. Now, I think the point that has been made, Dr. Damages made that point, NWC made that point, is the fact that, because I was talking about Nigerian journalists, we have to look at, if you want to look at perfection in that industry, I think you have to do Nigerian journalists good by looking at the environment in which they practice. We have said that several times. So because any analysis that you're going to do outside the specific environment where they practice, without taking into cognizance the environment that they do their business, alongside what the professional ethics of that profession is supposed to be, then you're not being very, very fair. We have seen people who have been very daring, yes. We have seen people who are moderate, yes. And we have seen people who are doing their thing quietly. Because they are quiet doesn't mean that they are not doing their job. We have seen people like Nduke Rabo, he went to jail. We see Dele Thompson went to jail. We see Bagada Kauta, he died because he was doing his job. People have mentioned Dele Giwa. I mentioned Kasogi. David Honde is on exile because of the job that he does. Everybody has his own character, has his personality, and the way he does the job. Now, your job, the risk that you take depends particularly on the kind of job you are doing. Some people have exposure, some don't have exposure. So I think it's unfair. I don't want to go personal, but I think it's unfair for people to, you can have your views and I respect it, but I think it's unfair for you to carry your biases and bring it here in your analysis, because that's biased. And if it's biased, it's not factual. That's the point I'm trying to make. So, and we all have our biases. So, and once it is biased, it's not truth. So all these things we're saying, if you want the journalist to do his job, create an enabling environment where he can practice. That's the truth. This one that we're coming to talk here, if you scrutinize ourselves, even in the various jobs that we do, you cannot swear. If I give you Ogun to swear, or I give you Amadiaha to swear, that even within the practice of your industry, you can claim that you are 100% clean. You can't. Because sometimes situations cause you to do certain things that ordinarily you wouldn't like to do. And in any case, if you summon up courage to do it, there's a penalty for it. So because you have done it and there's a penalty for it, does it make you a very good journalist and then make the other person not a very good journalist? I don't see the anchor. I don't see the correlation. I don't see the argument that is being made here that makes sense. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chim, you want to ask him a question? Okay, if his question,
I want to push back on practically everything he said.
But
yes,
can you hold on so I will talk to Pablo?
Can I quickly?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think, I mean, he's guilty of this personalization he's making. People are supposed, the whole idea behind why we're here. Otherwise, Precious should have spoken and we all go away and say, Church Abasala, so. But we're not here to do that. We're here to, and listen, the young lady is doing a fantastic job. Like I keep repeating, it's not about Precious. We're not here to dissect Precious. We're talking about the industry. We're talking about the profession. Precious might just be doing her job. We are entitled to disagree with her on certain things. That doesn't erode the fact that she's doing a fantastic job. It's not a personal thing. If I'm in a profession and I come up and people poke holes, we poke holes every day on our politicians. There are good politicians out there, but we still poke holes on politicians on a day-to-day basis, but they still go about their life. So I don't think we need to come and be holding forth for anyone. That's already a bias on itself. Let people make their views, come to this show. Dr. Bunwefe comes here and says things. Some of us will agree, some of us will disagree with him. That's the whole idea behind the post-analysis of a show. Unless we want to stop it so that we'll keep our mouth shut and then we'll not poke holes at anybody. Then, like I said,
Jim, I think you shot over the bar. Because I did not mention anybody's
that's the way
name.
you've been sounding from the beginning.
No. You hold on. You shot over the bar. I made a general statement of what I think is the definition of journalism, and I mentioned the various aspects. And I said categorically that the fact that someone didn't take a bullet does not make him a less journalist or whatever in his profession than the other person.
Sorry, Tony.
Hold on. I did not mention anybody's name.
No,
and I did not. I was more general. I was more general in my speaking than. So I don't know the way that slant that you made.
That's the point I am trying to make. You're taking it personal, like you said after she left. I heard you correctly. I'm not going to speak behind you. I'm speaking in front of you to tell you that I'm being magnanimous enough and I hold nothing against you. It's only if I speak behind you that you can say I'm being personal. I'm speaking, you're right here. When she was done and you were supposed to speak, you were honest enough to say you were biased. And you're holding forth right here. You said you were biased. And because you don't want your bias to get in, I'm saying, because somebody comes to the program and speaks their truth or tells us how they feel, and we disagree doesn't mean we are rubbishing anything she's doing. Like I keep repeating, I'm not going to reduce this conversation to a Precious matter. It's not about Precious. It's about the industry. We're saying that a couple of our journalists are the ones responsible for their problems also. Because there are certain things they shouldn't do that they are doing. They compromise, they put themselves in a... In fact, let me end it here, please. Even the man we said that was killed, there are legends that he was compromising, and that was what made them get him. It's part of it. I don't want to come and start saying you. Anybody who is listening and knows what I'm talking about. All I'm simply saying is our journalists need to stand their ground, do their job. So that when they come after them, people can say, listen, this person is doing his job and we can empathize or sympathize. Right now, a lot is being done that makes people feel, you know what? No. These people are responsible for their problems. That's the point I'm making. It's not a personal thing.
All right. Thank you so much. No, I'm not coming to his camera. I'm going to VA. And then after that, I'll do Femi because they have been waiting.
I wanted to just push back in a minute. Just 1 minute will be enough for me.
No, 1 minute. No, I'm not going to give 1 minute because it won't take 1 minute.
Yeah, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. Carry on.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. KJ, do you know a Genius Anagu?
Genius who?
A Genius Anagu. I don't expect you to know him. It's from.
Does he know me?
Hold on. I'm trying to.
Does he know me?
No.
Okay. If he doesn't know me, why should I know him?
No, exactly. I'm trying to, make a point with that every profession comes with a risk, right? It was a former 400-meter runner, Nigerian athlete. It was an assignment to represent Nigeria in Sydney Olympics 2000 when he got an accident, and that was the end. Right? So you ask me if I know that you are where he is and all that. Every profession comes with its own risk, right? They'll tell you if it's easy, everybody will do it. Now, my main argument, right, today, now, the money in journalism and the way journalists they apply their profession. That's my argument, right? So I'm not discrediting experience or no. How you apply that profession is subject to criticism. That's what we are at. That's what we do with the police, with politicians, with everybody. So, and they say that's why I say move to carry personality out of it. But money, my main number one is money in politics. I agree that my argument is that the Nigerian media ecosystem will not survive without money. Not apart. But where the money is coming from is what I am pushing back on. Because if we agree that journalism is pretty much a society of people talking to themselves, why do we need money for us to talk? But if because of distance, difficulties and other language, other barriers, and because of the other special interests who are bringing information to make sure we know understand, then we have to go through some navigation system that requires money. I get all that. But where the money is coming from is very important. If the goal is to build a nation, right, then we don't need an external factor interest to be financing how we build that nation, because we build that nation, that's how we communicate. Now, story will go there. The Nigeria of tomorrow, we have to talk it to existence. So if we depend on all those McCarthy Foundation, then because their interests come first, and you agree, KJ, that once you are employed by all these big corporations, they give you rules and regulations. All right, and that's where the idea of we need to, in order to boycott that, the solution there is to encourage local people to sponsor our media. Don't go if you don't go put in interest first, and Nigeria interest be that. If KJ sponsor media for Nigeria, your interest and Nigeria interest be that. But if an external factor is doing that, the interest comes first, so we'll be able to that. So we need to encourage our local investors to invest in it, because as I always use track and field as an example, but also institution within the Nigerian system. We lack money today because money they call free from federal government.
So Ovie, I have a question for you. You see, all of you have been hammering on the fact that the Nigerian journalist is not doing this, not doing that. I want to ask you something. The NGOs that are everywhere in Nigeria, who is sponsoring them? And why are you not now moving against stopping the inflow of NGOs that are everywhere? You don't see anything wrong with it? They run your hospital, run everything in Nigeria. The problem is the journalist.
Now, you are missing. Just hold on to understand the point I made there is now na talk am no be me o. Now na talk na foreign investors, foreign NGOs how to invest before that will survive. This is not me making shit up. This is una journalists admit it, from the local one to foreign one. Anytime when they come to this platform, they admit it. Even when I confront Chido by using Qatar, he said, no be Qatar, Rudolph America, all and all that. So I'm not making it, I'm just using what is there, making my point. The NGO also, those who are also foreign interest. My point is, if the journalism cannot survive in Nigeria without money, let that money come from us. It's going to be hard, it might not be enough, but we just have to start from somewhere. That's the point I'm making. Where's the money coming from? I can't help it. We can't stop it. But we should be able to manage it. We should be able to control it. If the goal is to build a nation, brown envelope come in different shape and forms. Come by cash, come by employment, it come by gifts, come by asylum, come by migration, come by free admission to go to school. They come in different and the biggest one, which is Femi was trying to point it out, is ideological based, especially the American media. It's ideological based. So there are no nuances. Depends on where you live in America. If you live in New York, you are bound to be 100% Democrat ideology, and you go through your head unless you understand it works. If you live in Texas, it's the other way around. So the fact that they see the Western that they will not be survived, we are always going to have confusion with our enemies. That is the reason we always the shouts. Conversation we are supposed to be having, because we consume so much of information that is influenced by foreign interests, we argue blindly. That's the whole point. That's why they argue, because some people are paying for us to have a conversation. We come here with a premeditated headline that is not from our thinking. It's coming from an established media. They don't praise them for us. 20 people don't die from Meduguri. We come here, we argue based on that. So that's it's a major problem, especially in this age of what information revolution. Everybody has a phone. The power that the big corporation used to have now is in everybody's pocket. It is dangerous. There's no time in human history that average human being is consuming information like this in life. So that is why that profession is more important than ever before. Right? The fact that they are losing their power to pretty much citizen journalism is there. Now the criticism of that profession has gone over. That's why they push back like this. Now, even though now they admit the wrongdoing that we are pointing out, but you still have the right to push back. Now, the idea that Rufai and the rest are journalists, and I disagree with that, based on even what Tony is trying to say about journalism. What is required of a journalist? Traditionally, a journalist is tasked to report facts and hold power accountable through objective inquiry. Is that what they are doing there? Somebody go to the field, bring them information, they sit put them for the editorial room, then praise them, adjust everything, they bring them to the studio, they begin to argue, they begin to analyze. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not journalism, it's what they call pundits. Pundit is expected to offer analysis and opinion through specific ideological frame. That's why you can never defeat Rufai Oseni when it comes to the issue of Obi. The objectivity is out the window. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing, but we have to be very, very objective and specific what they are doing entail. What they are doing there is what me and you are doing. We are analyzing issue based on our understanding and our ideological framework. So that's why when we put personality into it, everything goes out the window.
All right.
Thank God we are at a time whereby celebrities now know everything. So they do celebrating out of those people we see in the studio.
All right, bro. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Femi.
Okay. Thank you. At times like this, I remember someone that a lot of people have forgotten about. Enyi Akogu. Remember that channel's guy that was probably the first journalist that lost his life to Boko Haram in 2012. That young guy, how old was he? He was 31. 31. He would have been 46 this year, right? I start this way because taking part of what I mentioned earlier about how I don't think it's as simplistic as just and thank you, Ovie, for helping me expand what I didn't think of it that way. You know, that's why sometimes it's just good to listen and not listen to argue, Abi. So by expanding that, explaining about the fact that okay, yes, brand envelope could be, you know, not just what we like to narrow it down to, which is part of the reason why so a lot of times I like to look at things from another angle, which is why what brought up the issue of biasness, even when it comes to journalism. And it's not just journalism, of course, it's just because it's a topic. It applies to virtually everything you can think, sphere of life you can think of. And it cannot just be in Nigeria alone. There's problems when it comes to journalism in Nigeria, in America as well. And that's why I said, after a while, I had to stop taking everything I listened to. It didn't matter which media I listened to, hook, line, and sinker. So I think, and that's why I said it's a deep, the way I look at this thing is deeper than just Nigerian journalists. And I saw a comment in the comment section at some point about whether one's mindset has changed, having moved from Nigeria to America. And this is something I always tell quite a number of people in Nigeria when I have conversations with them that look, you see this idea of even in, after all in America, it cannot happen. I beg, it happens. I hear this thing a lot, and I tell some of them, I tell them, like, have you been outside of Nigeria before? And then sometimes it's not even about whether you've been outside of Nigeria. It's about, because you know, you can leave a situation and still not be blind. You still not see. You just want to believe what you want to believe. See, KJ, when I tell you that I've unlearned and relearned a lot of things, because some things just didn't make sense to me even when I came to the America, and I've been to other countries as well, and I see that as much as we condemn, and rightfully so, a lot of what we want to condemn about Nigeria, there are things that happen in America that even me, I'll be quick to admit to myself, if not to anybody else, that look, even in Nigeria itself, some of the things I see here that are bad will not happen in Nigeria too. How about that? Now, I know, at least I don't know too many people that work in journalism, but I have a cousin. He does in fact, it was the reason why I knew there was something called, maybe it's not a sub branch, correct me. I don't know Buko. Something that looks like, it's like even just being an advert, someone seeking advertisements is some kind of journalism itself. That's what he does. You know, it's like a freelance, but that's what he does. One day exactly. So one day I asked him, and then there's another girl that one of my other cousins knows, that when she told us how much she gets paid in Abuja, for example, the 50,000 naira that they pay her, even in these 2026 that we're in, a lot of times they even owe them. Now, that's not to say that it is anything that has to do with brown enveloping is right or wrong. I'm just looking at it from the fact that even Nigeria as a society itself has a structural and just all kind of problems. Nigeria itself is a problem in itself. So why would I want to think, as much as I rightfully so, I want to condemn whatever might be causing brown envelopism, if you will, for lack of another, I just created that phrase. You can't take out the fact that even the way the system is itself encourages some things, right? Now, I was going to say something as well. Now, you said you mentioned something that I was going to speak to as well. Remember that, I don't know if it was a Rise, I believe it was a Rise, that there was there were so many controversial interviews, right, recently. I mean, it's always been like that. And then NBC came out, and that was when they were reminding TV, radio stations and broadcasters, whatever, of some existing law because of the political season that we are in now. And in my head, I'm like, even the ones that are trying to do the job, the Rufai Hosseini's and what have you, they are trying to do the job. Before you know it now, they will say they are trying to close Arise like they did to channels, if you remember, in 2008. When, I forget, I think it was John something, that was a minister. It was even from Cote d'Ivoire that was mentioning about how, because of something that they said about remember when, it was when Yar'Adua, you remember all the controversy, they were kind of like threatening a lot of media houses then. So if they close these media houses now, a lot of the people that are working there, that even the ones that are trying to do the job, they have family. They have, you know where the problem will come is when they can't feed their family again. You know, so as much as this thing comes with risk, the way I think about these things, it's beyond. It's in for. Again, I'm not supporting anything though. But when the Wahala starts now, how are these people going to feed their family? Because it is all of us that are now saying, journalists will do this, do that. Are we the ones that are going to help them? I'm just saying, I'm asking for a friend. It's just
all right. Femi, thank you so much. You see, I like the way you put it, because last, now the journalist, the person on the ground, I ain't go carry the thing. And we'll only say, hey, I have been in situations. I don't want to be again. And I will not advise any of my friends. That not means that we are, the journalists, Nigerian journalists are cowardice, but they are practicing to survive to practice another day. And if we're not doing too well, all of you speak good English, you also write very well, or you can at least stand before the camera. Anybody can now take over the position and do the one we're not doing, so that it will be clearer. You talked about the guy.
I like that. They are practicing to practice another day.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a good phrase.
Yes. The young guy, he was quite very agile at that time. We feel so bad when, he was one of the first victims of Boko Haram.
KJ, who remembers that guy today? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I still remember his face, and when he was doing that report that finally took his life. I
still have his picture. I kept his picture because I felt I was crying that I still keep his picture.
So now that's where I'm seeing it. Not because people cannot be brave. no. Anybody who have chosen to be able to go out and ask questions is obviously going to be brave, but sometimes you need to just know how to manage yourself so I can come back the next day to continue for
what. I remember I was going to say something. I remember that he said it got to a point you were like, you that you have Pikina, you ran that.
Yes,
correct when I remember.
Yes, and you see, I don't like to tell that story because while we're here, I'm just trying to see, okay, maybe this is the time for me to do my memoir. You know why I'm saying that? Because you cannot have over 20 years of experience and not have seen the good, the bad, the ugly. So sometimes these things are easily said than when you are in the field. I'm telling you the truth. But when you're in the field, you meet a lot of things, and especially for those of us who are not in the mainstream media. And somebody was asking here if the practice is different. I don't have any different practice because the standard we were using when we were in Nigeria was the American standard. So I don't, it's not different from what I know here because that's what we were doing back that time because our office was not a Nigerian office. So it's an international organization. So we didn't need to, we don't need to. We produce to meet the international standard, not the African or Nigerian standard. And I said that to say that just like, Femi was saying, I've been a point man for ABC, when they want to do anything in Nigeria, But that's by the way. Now, coming back to Comrade, before we go to the BC, I want to ask you, is there anything at all the Nigerian journalist is doing well, apart from just criticizing them? Is there anything we have done well that is worth of accolades? And do you think that those people who have paid the ultimate price in practice, who today don't even have their names on the halls of fame or any government award, or like the young man who died, I don't know if he has family. Has anybody ever gone to find out for his mother how she's faring, and all that? Do you think there's anything we have done well? And do you think that the way that journalists have been treated in Nigeria is fair enough for them to put their lives on the line?
Yeah. Thank you, KG. I want to advise that for us to get the best of this discussion, for us to maximize this conversation, the essence of this conversation, when you now say we, looking at it from the angle that this is your profession, we have already lost the essence of the conversation ab initio. The reason why I said this is anything we say is going to make you feel we're attacking you. No, this is not about you. It's not just about journalism in Nigeria.
It's not about me. I'm not Nigerian journalist.
Yeah, when you continue like this, it's like you're trying to make yourself a judge in your own case. And it will not be able to get the best out of this conversation. We are not here to attack you. It's not just about journalism. Oh. This is the point I'm making. They are doing their best in a very dangerous and very unfriendly environment. No doubt about that. But then, whatever is worth doing well, whatever is worth doing at all, should be worth doing well. This is the point we're trying to make. Now, and let me digress a little to other areas. The reason why you see, sometimes I get tired of talking about these things. One thing I want to see, if this is anything I have to say tonight, until we start looking inward, we can blame our leaders, our imperialists, our colonialists. We can blame foreign interests for what we care. Until we start looking inwards, looking at ourselves, the problem we are causing. That was why I started by saying, Dr. Damages is the only person on social media today who has been able to provide a forum to answer his own 1 million question of who did this to us. If I hear that question from him again, either he's not sincere or he's just being mischievous. I know he's a very good guy. When you watch Dr. Damages' show for 2 minutes, you have all the answers to that question. Who did this to us? Nobody did this to us. We are the ones doing it to ourselves. We are not honest people. We are very, 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 very hypocritical people. We are very, very biased people. Somebody is coming to call me a rubber rasa. I don't have a problem with that. I know you have a special interest. Apart from being a regular guest on that show, you also go there to pretend as if you are one special thing. You have a special interest even in the organizer of the show. So that is within your right to do so. They don't come here to bamboozle us into a fool's paradise that we should not react. This is a post-show analysis. We are reacting to what happened previously. We don't have any personal beef or biasness against She's doing her best. But then I also want to point out one thing. Social media will have been a very useful tool. Gone are the days of 7 p.m. NTA News, when they will just come out and dish out whatever they want us to hear, hook, line, and sinker. So this is information age, like my brother of the side. But what are we doing with it? This is my question. And again, we misusing the social media. Every Nigerian try to be fighting for a better society. We are not fighting any shit. We are selfish. We are worse than those we blame. So let's look at the most dangerous thing in social media today. Not everybody can be like Dr. Damages. I don't have problem people making money from social media. Will soon be like the churches in Nigeria if they're not already getting worse. If you remove the tithe and offering Nigerian churches, 98% of Nigerian pastors will not be in the pulpit. This is where we are gradually heading to. They start by telling you, I'm not interested in monetization. They gather you, try to do as if they're doing the right thing, they're fighting for Nigeria. If you stay with them for like a week or two, you understand the real reason why they're doing what they're doing. See, using social media as a source of income, it's a good thing. Jobs are not there. But then, that should not also, we should not be blinded by the fact that we're trying to survive, we're trying to earn a living. You doing worse than the mainstream media, which you blame on daily basis. It doesn't add up. This is the point we are making. KJ, apart from journalism, the reason why you see a professor, a university professor, that not be more rigging an election for a tout, and falsifying electoral figures for a tout. It's not different from what we are discussing here. It's not just about journalism. It's in every nook and cranny. It's in every facet of Nigeria. Until we begin to face them the way they are, without putting ourselves as if this is what affects me, without picking and choosing. I can go on and on and on and on. If you ask a Benin man to talk about why they have a male in Kwara, the Benin man will speak so well. Why should this? If you point to his backyard, that Oba is not a Benin name, he will be quiet. We cannot continue like that, for Christ's sake. Say it the way it is. If we must have a healing, we are not healing. We are pretending, we are complaining, we are lamenting. We are not prepared to face the truth the way they are. It's not about you. I know this is your constituency. Please, bear with us tonight. In the police, in the army, in the teaching profession, in the medical profession. I told you I have something to say about what just happened to my cousin about 3 days ago. This is not journalism. This is the medical field. So we are not blaming journalists. We're not doing what you're supposed to do just because we know you are a journalist. Please, if you try to maybe affect you, remove yourself tonight for being a journalist so that we can have a very free and unbiased analysis so that our listener can also benefit from the essence of this discussion. So, the reason why you see the current electoral act now, those that squeeze those fraudulent clauses in, they are lawyers. They are liars by working with politicians to say, this is what we do. And this is how we recruit our cronies to go do the right. They also went as far as giving them a cover. After doing it, they won't be caught for questioning. And Mike Gini just made that one clear. I'm surprised. Not even my Showere, not even an OB, not even an article could know all these things. And they have a lot of professionals working with them. Can I even shock you, KJ? After that mighty revelation from Guinea, don't be surprised, nobody will take it from there. What happens to our investigative journalism? Where people will stand on something they want to, somebody disguised in Nigeria, one young man, he pretended to be a custom to know how these dirty things are getting into the country. He pretended he worked with them, he worked with criminals. He went to some border, pretending to be one of the smugglers. This is the thing. These are some of the things we are talking about. We are not attacking any personality here. This discussion will be lost. The essence of this discussion will be lost on the altar of personal attack if we don't neutral our minds, zero our minds to say what is bad is bad. So the reason why you see an NEC official, we have the courage and the temerity to ring election, to cancel a result sheet, put another thing there, because he or she knows that the politician he or she is working for They have given them cover even in the constitution. We are here looking at it, and we are preparing for another election in 2027. I know we are not mad. I know we are not insane. But can we just allow our biasness and remove our sentiment and emotions and this clearly with the problem of Nigeria? If we must make a headway, we pretend as every day as if we are fighting. We're not fighting any shit. We're just talking as if the present situation is not favoring us. The people like Tony that got a big contract from a previous government, you don't eat when you are talking. We didn't see them. And if the table turns around tomorrow, they start getting those big contracts, you will not hear from them again. We are not fighting any shit. We are selfish. We are greedy. We do everything based on personal aggrandizement. I rest my case tonight. My voice is already bad.
Okay, thank you.
KJ, can I say one or two things? Because you mentioned my name. You see how beautiful it is when people have decorum to listen to people speak without interjection. I think that is one of the things that Omori should learn.
You call me a rubber razor earlier. You call me a rubber razor.
Yes, because you interjected. Did anybody stop you?
I know you have a special interest in. You are a shareholder in Precious Enyi show. Apart from that, you have a special interest in Precious. So you can do whatever you cannot shut us up. We must tell you how it is.
That is why you see. Hold on. You see, you make outlandish statements. Hold on, because he's making accusations now that he's not sure of. That is libelous.
That's why I want to talk.
Yes. So you are making. This is why people have been challenging you on this platform. Because you just excuse me, hold on. Let me speak. I did not interject. I don't know where you brought this rudeness from. You are not well trained. You are not well cultured.
You talk like a madman. You are not well cultured. You talk like a madman.
You have attacked me. You have attacked me here. You have impugned my character here on this platform. And I am going to take it up with you because everything that you have said here, you have to prove it.
Just go ahead. I do my details.
You have to prove it. Hold on. Stop shouting. Behave like a human being.
You see why you're going.
Grow up. Behave like a human being. You can't be shouting all the time on people.
Why you're going?
You can't be shouting all the time on people. That's why I called you a rabble riser. Now, you don't know anything about me. To say that I've been collecting contracts here and there and so on. You don't know anything about me.
That's very wrong.
You don't. And you need to apologize for that. Because if you don't, you would not ever say,
no apology.
That's why they shot you. They would have killed you. Because you make outlandish statements.
Okay, Tony, please calm down. And
can you see what he has, the rubbish that he has done here?
That's why I was trying to speak. That's not right, Mr. Omonyore. That's not right because you don't even know him. None of us know anybody apart from seeing us here.
Because you see me here and then you can talk rubbish.
Bring this kind of accusations. One wonders where you go dig it out from. One just wonders, And I don't think that it has come to the point here because no matter what you say here now, all that you have said is not going to change Nigeria tomorrow. All that you have said, everything you have said now won't change Nigeria tomorrow.
I will take it up. I'm going to take it up.
No, please, I beg you in the name of God. I just apologize.
Because I will prove to you, since you want to know who I am, I'll prove to you who I am.
No,
we are all abroad. I'll take it up with you.
Please,
I can check you out. Check you out. If I don't get you here, I'll get you in Nigeria.
Tony,
that's stupid. For trying to impugn my character.
Tony, calm down, please. Listen, please. This is what Rudolph was saying earlier. Nothing we say is going to change Nigeria. The professors, they are Professor Amupita. He will still use his this thing. Amupita will still rig the election. There's nothing people can do. That's why when Lisa Kanu was calling him Amupita, I said it's the right name. So nothing we say that is going to change that. He's there. The people are not shaking. Wike's brother is not going to remove him from being the resident commissioner for Cross River Akwa Ibom or Cross River State. It's not going to change. Those members of APC that are members that are now in the INEC, they're not going to remove them. Why do we need to now come and insult each other? It's not nice. It's not going to help us. Make your point and then leave it at that. I said this, and Rudolph hammered on this earlier on because we saw the way this discussion was going. Whether you like it or not, if Precious Enyi
KJ, please. KJ, please, I beg. I'm very, very angry, and I don't want to do anything that I'm going to regret. Omori has to apologize and retract the thing that you said, because he said it on international media. If he doesn't retract, I give him 1 week. If he doesn't do that, I swear, you will see what I'm going to do.
Okay, please, Tony, you're my brother. I beg you, in the name of God, calm down, please. Comrade, you are a comrade. I don't know please. You also need to withdraw that, because this is an international media, and you have no proof of whatever accusation you've made. Please, let's calm down. Should we keep holding this? These shows, or should we shut it down? Because we didn't come here to insult each other or to try.
That's why I say it was never about personality. I tried to make sure. Let's bring another topic. Let's stay on issue. Forget personality. Personality is always.
Yes. So please, Oboyere, I can see Steve backstage. I just put you out so you can calm down, and then when we bring you back, please let's sort this thing out before leaving today. I'll go on to NDVC. Can we just move on a bit? I want to also correct something that earlier on we played, which I said earlier. The Igbo chairman found himself in somewhere in the abroad, and this is what happened. Now we don't support
the abroad
in this channel, so this is not an approval of what you are doing, but just to let us see how Nigeria is beginning to pan out. Very, very, very.
Oh, no, it's not. Local government chairman. Not the local government chairman. Honorable. Don't you know us? Honorable. Are you not honorable?
Okay, I will need to stop it there, because I don't want anybody to say.
No, explain. What did happen there? Like the hit. I mean, explain now. Who they hit? Who they hit? Who?
It is the honorable of one local government in one of the eastern states, and he was caught on, or rather, his people met him in a lift, and they said to ask him if he's not honorable, and he was trying to think they were greeting him, and they said to tell him that they don't know what they've been doing with their local government funds. So this platform does not approve violence. We don't approve violence in any form, but it's for purpose of education. And so we'll go ahead and discuss it. You see, the Nigerian system is turning people to become something else, because this is a chairman who has been collecting allocation, free allocation for only God knows how long. And look at him living large in Europe. Look at him living large in Europe. So, gentlemen, as a water cooler, as we call it in the media, those stories are not serious stories. We just used to water down nerves. What do you say about it, my brother, Ndubisi?
Well, first, let me appeal to all of us here to calm down. And we are all brothers. We don't know ourselves personally. We only met here. And when we speak, we should not be too outlandish in our comments towards each other. Mr. Mori, please, you have seen many battles back home before you traveled. Nobody is happy with what is going on in Nigeria. And when we come here, we all express our view. Our view will be divergent, but making some accusations that may not be correct is not good. So to cease fire and allow peace reign, please. I know what you said to Mr. Tony was said in anger. Please retract it and apologize, and let's move forward, because it's not good. Most of us here we want Nigeria to be better. Those of them back home who are supporting this government that is destroying our system, they watch this thing now. They will be laughing at us, say, oh, we are fighting each other. So please, it's not good. Apologize to him and let's move forward. That is one. On what the video just showed now, KJ, you said the man is a local government chairman and all that. It's not new. Many of them, all these boys, the governors appoint, and then they do kangaroo elections and appoint them as local government chairmen, and they have a portion of the local government fund available to them. Many of them don't do much for their local government because of the restriction they have from the governor, and because too, they are equally corrupt and compromised. Because somebody who really wants to serve his local government and is a governor's boy, and governor gives him that job, he will not accept it. He will say he doesn't want, because he knows that he won't operate. So I don't like what those men did to him, because they are living in a Western world where the law is strong. He can bring up charges against them, and they will face the music as well. So it's not good, but that shows you that people are watching them. Maybe those guys now, they have people back home who tell them what the local government chairman or councillors are doing back home with the little fund they get. So it's the decay in the system. No, abnormalities have become normal in our country. And my major concern is that, I just say it here, our younger ones, our children and the ones that will come after them, they are growing up seeing this thing. They've not seen any better way. And they see these things as normal. And they will grow with it. That's the problem. And that is how a society destroys itself. Aside what those in government and their accolades are doing, it's a problem. So we really need a total reset in our country. This local government chairman, if you ask him, the man doesn't even know his left and right on how governance is. But because he's a boy to maybe the governor or one big politician there, and they say, okay, this is a reward for you, go in. And he will serve his tenure and make his own money. And for you know it, he will go out. Having local government chairman, have you seen get re-elected? Because it's like turn by turn, they have a list, find a way of settling their boys. They don't give local government chairman, you'll be special advisor on this or that. I mean, and some of them don't know left from their right. They are the hatchet men of some of these governors. It's sad, but I don't subscribe to violence. I don't think they should have just maybe verbally abuse him and other, and tell him that they know what he's doing, and that is all, and allow him to go and keep watching him.
All right, thank you so much.
KJ, let me say something. Somebody asked a question. Afam asked a question. If my wife is listening, my wife is by my side, and he heard everything that tomorrow you said, and so I am not taking it lightly with him until he apologizes that my wife hears it.
All right, thank you so much. On behalf of Omeri, before you apologize, I apologize to you and your wife. I do not take that lightly at all, and especially when the accusation is not correct. That we try to avoid that on this channel. So that should be cancelled out totally and absolutely. There's no other word around it. We can't just throw out accusations at people. I was telling Boom Boom Ray the other day that my son knows his name. That's the only one he remember. Every time I say, Boom Boom Ray, Boom Boom Ray. So when you come to this channel, some people have it on their flat, big TV, and they're watching it. Children are there and all that. You can't just say anything that you like to say or use any kind of word, because you don't know how many family people are sitting and watching it. And it doesn't tell well of the platform or yourself, because these children may know your name also. My son knows Boom Boom Ray, he knows AY, he knows Masker. So these things are not, they even knows forefather, apart from, of course, the damages. So these people, these children know your names. They know.
He doesn't know me.
No, they know they know you now, because you're from a mother's place. They know you.
Thank you.
You are a regular now, Shim.
No, they don't know you or Pablo.
Well, like people like us who come once in a while.
All right, so please, Omoyere, let's cancel this out and not let it go.
Can I say something now?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, ordinarily, it does not come to threat, but because of out of respect for panelists and those on the commentariat, I didn't say anything. KJ, it's a fact that after every show we come here to analyze post-show, analysis, because we don't have all the time to ask the guests questions. Today I came in, but my network kicked me out. I didn't also want to start bringing so it doesn't look like a personal attack. So I missed the show. This is an opportunity that I have to have my view. Nobody should come here and try to gag us because you have a special interest somewhere. We have been doing this. We did it to Valentine Ozigbo. That day, I felt for Valentine. I was happy we were able to criticize and, he let him know certain things, mistakes he was making. Their effects were not nice at all. That is the essence of the show. We are raw. We are direct. See, ordinarily, I didn't want to speak on this, so that it don't look as if I'm dignifying the threat. But because of what he has said, before we leave here, I'm going to furnish him my details, my name, date of birth, my address, so that I can go on with the. I'm also going to play one of his videos where he said he was doing contract with Nigerian government. I will play one or two. That will be my evidence in the court. I'm trying to be more Catholic than the Pope here. When we are talking about show organized by Precious, making it look as if it's his own personal business, that should be his own explanation. Why you carry Precious for like gala? I owe you no apology. Go ahead and sue me. Before you leave, I will detail you my details. If you feel you can threaten me online because of what I.
Okay. At this point, I think I'm actually losing my cool.
Okay. KJ.
No,
there is no apology. The battle line. Hold on.
Please,
the
Tony,
battle line is drawn.
I respect you here.
Okay.
Please hold on, Tony. We all respect you, and nobody, even the people in the comments, nobody taking this lightly. So you don't even need to fight your fight. You know, nobody, no comment I've seen that I've said what is said is correct. And one person, my late father used to say something. If you're in a group of 10 people and the 9 of them say you are bad, you should go and examine yourself. What else is there to be said? So everybody in the comment section and those on the platform are saying you should apologize. What's so difficult there? Are we here to show power? Are we here to show anything? Look, I'm going to give you a personal example. I have a niece who had problem with her marriage, and the husband or the people called me to say, wherever people want to go, we're ready. If it's money, we have made money. We are going to keep. We already kept money. I want to use to go to court. I said, my brother, I beg you, no court. If you have made money enough to be given to police and to court, just use it to take care of yourself. We are not interested in going to any court, okay? And that is where I always stand. It's just not necessary. All these things are not necessary. How long do we need to live? Calm down. Calm down. I said to the guy, it's not because if we wanted to, we will not. But I said to him, Biko, my brother, no verse. You live for Lagos, or you have made enough money. You see your business is going well, but you, as a businessman, you have, war chest to go to court. I bet use it to develop your family and your children. We don't want to go to court. We don't want to go to police. Please. So, Omonye, that's why on that basis I'm coming here. We are all supposed to be colleagues and friends here. Let's not get to the point where we'll now be threatening and all that. The man said what you've said is not, he doesn't like it. And you said it in presence of his wife. Anybody would just say, okay, I am sorry. All this one, what are we going to do with it? I beg, we're going to stop this kind of thing. Are we children?
That's why we need to renew our hope and shine. Come to the Renew Hope family.
Hey, I don't want to talk about you because even you have contradiction. Together with
Mr. Tony.
Yes.
Sorry.
Why you're here?
Mr. Tony, please. Just move on. Just forgive, please. You are there, please. You see everybody on the comment section, sincerely, people are supporting you. Please. Omori is a good guy. Both of you are passionate about the country. This is the honest truth. There is no need threatening ourselves online. That's not okay, to be honest. Please, I beg you in the name of God, just move on. I know you can do more than that. Meanwhile, KJ, me and you, why you say your children?
Please. I want to say something to you. You have asked Mr. Tony to forgive, to move on. Talk to Omori as well. Omori is still hitting back on what he said. It's
see, both of them.
No, nothing like both of them. There was two things he said here. He accused him of doing business with Nigeria, and then he accused him of with the lady that
Okay, gentlemen.
No, I don't like the way you just what you said now.
I'm not supporting any of them. See,
calm down. Tell Omori to apologize to him.
Calm down. I will talk to Omori. Don't worry. Just leave it, please. Mr. Tony, somebody will respect how
AY, thank you. Do you know that Precious is a married woman?
Yes.
You know.
Okay.
And he's accusing me. He's accusing me of having an affair on international media
with
someone's wife.
on the
He's accusing me he's accusing me apart from that, he's accusing me of doing contracts with the government. Which government? I want him to play that video. I say I'm doing contract with the federal government. I've never done any contract with the federal government. Not at all. So I want him to bring that video where he says, I've done contract with state governments. I've not done contract with federal government. And go and check my record.
Even if
I do, I have the right to do so.
Yeah, you are in Nigeria. There's nothing wrong with it.
Because I provide service. I provide service that I provide high-tech service. And I help in defending the nation. So to accuse me is, shows how low. And instead of him to, he's not man enough. Instead of him to own up to say, he's challenging me. I can lock him up. It's not a question of this. I'm not boasting.
Mr. Tony, please, just.
He spoke in anger. He was supposed to just say, I'm sorry, please.
He will.
And he can cause problem for this. He can cause problem for this platform.
That's
what he has just said.
Except he wants the platform to go out for a while.
So it is in the interest of this platform to have him, because it is here in this platform that he said those things, and I can get him through this platform.
Okay.
I don't need his CV. I don't need his CV.
Tony.
Okay, if I catch you,
Tony, calm down.
No, but it's wrong.
Hold on.
Wrong. But I appreciate. Let me just rounding up. KJ, I want to thank you. Machuku, God bless you. Owa Osakwe, thank you so much. AY is my brother now, so I can't thank you enough. But you have to talk to your brother. Okay. This is not. It's not the first time we're seeing this kind of behavior. It's not the first time. He has fought. What is his name? Ikene. He has fought. I mean, it's regular. It's not. We know his character. But to go now impugn my person. And I have a family. They respect me. And for him to say this, my wife is by my side, is hearing all the things I'm saying. And to come and you think this is macho? This is not about macho. Everybody has madness in him. Everybody has madness in him. And just as he knows people, I also know people.
Tony,
I know people. And if you want to play rough, I can play it very rough with him.
I beg you.
But he has to apologize. So I want to hear him apologize so that it will be on record.
First and foremost, I apologize to you and your beautiful wife.
Even me, I apologize on his behalf.
I want you to know that
Me, I am not here. I am not here.
Let's move on.
Akpeblo now go first arrest first.
I am busy looking for 3.5 million votes.
Okay.
Let's hear from Chim. Hold on.
No, KJ, Chim, please.
Hold on.
Let's settle this matter.
KJ, let's not solve the civil ourselves. We settle right now. This one now waiting they will talk behind the scene.
All right, Chim, go ahead.
On the matter or something else?
No, something else.
I like him. I like him, man.
Well, local government chairman will receive a slap of
Nabu. Guys, you let's just round up because I think we're being done.
It's like I've seen this before. I think I don't zoom off.
Yeah. So you probably want to touch on the matter and then move on to something else so that
No, all I'll just say is to Tony, don't take it personal. Let it just. I understand the issue of defamation and being accused of what you're not doing. I know how painful it can be, but just let it slide. When next he's on the show and he's back. Mr. Mori, all I want to say is this: like I keep saying, we can disagree. Listen, when it comes to sometimes I've been trying to run away from this platform, but every time I try to run away, something brings me back. Why? Sometimes we take things too personal.
Yeah, why?
Not necessary. I don't get it. Like I since we started this show, you listen to me, I keep saying it is not about Precious. We're trying to reduce it to Precious, and it's not. We're looking at why our country is not. I mean, Precious didn't give me a fantastic answer when I asked her a question, But it doesn't take away the fact that I know she's making her own contributions. She's doing a fantastic job on her platform. I've been on her platform only once, and we've discussed issues. But that being the case, our country has bigger issues that we need to start looking at how to resolve. It's not something to be personal. I'm starting to learn to even excuse and condone those who are supporting Tinubu. I'm sorry. I feel pained that some people support him, but I'm learning to to allow them to have the right to support who they want to support because it's in their right.
Not serious.
We are the only seeing people. We are the only seeing people right now in Nigeria.
Let me see. In this world, and if you go into politics, in a two-party state like the US, some people will be Democrats, some people will be Republican. You cannot understand why somebody is Republican. You cannot understand why somebody is Democrat. In Nigeria, the same way. You can't understand why somebody is supporting P2B versus why somebody thinks an article should be the best candidate. But guess what? Is the reality, there will be people who will back those people. So I'm trying to be more matured now. I'm trying to rise above, reducing their support to making them look like they are bad people. They might be bad people who are doing it for wrong reasons. But, there are also people who, in their right senses, there's something they're seeing in Tinubu that I can't see. So, okay. That's fine. Let them go ahead. So all I want to say is this. Let's not make it personal. I don't believe that there's nothing we're saying here that cannot help solve Nigeria's problem. But like they are likely say, we will come and talk and then we will go. Maybe Nigeria will change. Maybe Nigeria will not change. But I hope that the contributions we make here would somehow impact lawmaking, impact policy making somewhere. Somebody will sit down and say, come, those Nigerians in diaspora that are always gathering on that Dr. Damage's show. They said something last week. Maybe as a minister, let me try it. Hopefully. But even if it is not, we will still come in here to talk. But I don't think it's something for us to become enemies. And then if you see somebody on the road, you can't greet them and all that. It's just not necessary. I mean, the world is a large place, So please, let's settle our swords and just discuss. Let's agree to disagree and disagree to agree, whichever one is the correct one. So that's all I just want to say on this matter. So Tony, please, like my village people will say, Takamayo.
Okay, Takamayo.
I hear you. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. All right. We should move to our final phase on this. And again, I want Jim to take your, concluding thoughts. You have 3 minutes.
It be like saying Bia connection. You want it also do us PDP.
Okay. Let's leave Tony. Let's leave. Let's allow that talk. Why you just came in? So let me give you 5 minutes to talk, and then we can move on from there. But you are going to talk for 2 minutes, and then use 3 minutes to do your final rant, and then we'll go from there.
Sincerely, part of the reason I joined, I was on the comment section is because of this Mr. Tony and Mr. Morio issue, right? Udubisi thought I was just here to support it. Bro, you don't know my relationship with both of them. The truth is, Omoruye, please, if it's your turn, especially the statement Mr. Soni said you accuse him of some kind of stuff, please just withdraw those statements. I just apologize to him. I know he has forgiven you, but there is no need for all that, because we are passionate about the country. Sometimes we just find ourselves fighting each other for unnecessarily. We are not the problem of Nigeria in the end. Apart from Kwebolo that is eating from the national cake, we are free. We are not the problem. Yeah, you see the what's her name? The lady, Precious, right? My personal opinion about her, I'm gonna be very polite. I think she doesn't sound neutral to me, to be honest. But I think she's doing some very good work as well. I've listened to some of her recording. I think she's doing a good work. To be honest, I feel she's not neutral. I think that's the problem I see with a lot of Nigerians. I'm just looking at, for me, I get really worried because I want a country that will work for everybody. You know, everybody at least will be safe. Everybody can prosper in terms of, even if you want to do business, I just want a country that work for everybody. You know, so there is no. I don't have much to say apart from that. I will also get back to Mr. Tony, please. I wish I know how to speak your language. Please just be patient with Omoroye. Omoroye, the comrade you are, please just withdraw some of your statement. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Pablo, fire.
Oh, Namaton. Election fever. We're just getting started, you know. There's more fire to come. It's okay, that means it's a good thing. Now, waiting people like a KJ profession want me to journalism. Fire, they want me a fire day. So, well, I'm jealous. Tony don't achieve with your wife. You want to run our mouth. I mean, as a Nigerian that our forefather never imagined, you know, when they whip there with Kobo Kobo. They never imagine one day say our grandchildren will just be killed, you know. So, Tony, and I mean, I don't think there's anything I'm going to say that people never thought. But you are your, you know, wife. I believe you guys people by that you come and you see me here. Tomorrow you see me here. So that's why I told you. People they will still fight again. But at the same time, here we did for Nigeria. But I think most importantly is what should be concerning is how do we move from talking about issues, from there we turn on to personality. Right? None of them be journalists. None of them be public officials. So I think for me, that's what we should see for. How can we stay on issue from the beginning to the end? All right. So that's what I see for it. So, but again, everything is really influenced by the season. Everything is time for everything. Election season. So that's because all of them have their own candidates that strongly hold. But I wish I can say personality should stay out of the way. But I said it before and I keep saying it. The lack of depth of subject matter and make people to begin using insults. Because all of us know how to talk. If we know we speak grammar, we will speak that way. So communication is not an issue. So for you to just lack vocabulary to express points and you begin to attack individuals, and because you like depth of the subject matter. So my advice today is I will read more and smoke more. It's good to smoke. You know? So as I still deal with the one by his side, I deal with my smoke. So that's why I always smile. That's true. And Chim too, I think I don't study Chim for this electoral season. His approach from the beginning is that this opposition are not serious. So there's no point. So he just that's why I say he doesn't shine. You have no problem with all these men with the paradness. Vote for me, vote for me. Don't relax.
Hey, Lawa. All right, I think you are finished, right? Let's move on. Let me see your final thoughts.
Well, finally, please let us unite as one whenever we come here, even with our divergent views, and let's, as much as possible, not as much as, let's always keep our personal attacks, but we can call out each other on the topic, but not going personal. That is not good. This our show here is a big one now. Even sometimes they refer to something, some media houses back home, they refer to some information they get here, even without mentioning names or Dr. Damage's show. So it wouldn't be nice if they hear us going too personal. We can criticize what one other person said, like we used to do, but let's leave it like that, please. Mr. Mori, I like you for your boldness and your your courage while in Nigeria and even outside. But please, it boils us to the way it boils you. Though we speak in different ways about things going on in our country, but please, just find it in your heart to say sorry to our brother Tony and let it die down. Then generally, let us continue to keep an eye on what is going on back home, and then make our contributions to see that Nigeria gets better. KJ, we didn't talk about core politics matter today, but maybe I will be on that day talk about that. So
thank you so much. Yeah, we just wanted to. Well, we didn't discuss. Yeah, we'll see how it goes next week. Comrade.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. My greetings once again. The reason why I'm still here, in fact, I supposed to be in a meeting. The reason why I decided to let that one go is because of the respect I have for the platform and my beloved brothers here. Most people may not understand me, because of the nature of my voice. Some people have advised me to go for surgery. I'm not going to do it. Let me die with that voice, Some people the people don't understand what I'm talking. Sometimes I feel like a stammerer. Some people don't get the substance of what I'm trying to say. They just conclude, oh, the man that shouts is here again. Even before they approach me, they say, don't shout. I'm not shouting. That's just it. Nobody wants to shout. Nobody wants to have headache. Nobody wants to have BP. That's just my nature. I've apologized time with time number. But before I go into the apology per se, apology proper, quote and unquote, you see, before I die, before you bury me, you must allow me to die first. Don't bury me alive. He has already started spinning what I said. And this thing is unedited. I said, why the special interest in today's show? We have been, analyzing other people after show. I made an example of what we did to Ozigbo. I made an example of what we did to so many guys on this platform without insulting them. Without holding back, we give it to them raw as it is. What we cannot get in CNN, what we cannot get in channels, what you cannot get in our eyes. We so raw here without being insulting. I didn't say, Mr. Tony has started lying on me. I don't know if it's this lie taken to the court. I said he's having affair. I didn't say affair. I said special interest. Special interest. Let me land. Please, let me land. This is my apology. I'm coming to the apology. Apology will be the last one. But if you're going to the court, if you're not satisfied with my apology, don't go with lie. Go with the fact. I say special interest. You could be a lawyer. You could be a shareholder in that company. Invested interest means it could mean a lot of things. She could be your relative. You could be a lawyer. The way you're a lawyer, a Ghanaian could even do that for the downtrodden when he was alive. What you have done today, you brought yourself out unnecessarily. I was questioning that interest. You tried to shut me up. The day Precious told me, I know you went to be. When the issue at stake had nothing to do with Obi, Tony was there. You didn't say nothing. You called me name that day. You called me another name today because you think I'm a rabble rouser. I have nothing meaningful to say. You can't even listen to me before I land. You already started. You're already judging me. So today now you are here. That already you virtually challenge everybody even before this one. Why Dr. Damages was still in charge? You already started attacking everybody that was not talking the way you wanted to talk about the show, not about the guests, about the profession. That is special interest right there. I didn't say you're having fun or you're having an affair. If you must go to court with facts. And again, you mentioned another thing. I have more respect for poor people than rich men. I've never respected any big man. I never. So no big man can intimidate me. Yeah, I didn't make distinction between contracts for federal and state. Now, to make your case, you try to manufacture a case. This is not Nigeria. Let me tell you. You try to manufacture a case for yourself. You say, I said federal contract. I never mentioned federal state. And you also alluded to the fact that you were doing contract with state. I said government. They play it and see. And for those of you that feel I must apologize, apology is not difficult for me. On what ground should I apologize to Tony? For trying to defend Precious when we're not actually attacking Precious. So we should not talk because Tony is close to Precious. I apologize, my foot. To you guys that feel offended, I apologize to you all. Tony, go on with your case. I down the consequence. You don't know who you're talking to. This is not Nigeria. This was how you were taking Showore to court.
Okay, on that faithful note, I think I need to cut him off. Listen, and and I'm saying this with due respect to everybody who comes to this platform. If you have a case, please take it somewhere else. This platform belongs to somebody. You see, you guys don't know how difficult it is for us to get guests to come to this platform because of certain ways that you people attack them. And nobody sets up a platform to be the person talking head. Because if I'm the only one talking in this platform, you will not come. Because after a while, I run out of ideas. So you're coming because there are some quality candidates that are coming here, guests that are coming here that you learn from or listen to. So if we run down the platform, then where do we go have that meeting? We must be very, very distinct. You see, it's not a question of who comes or who doesn't come. These people that have come have given you some quality information. So when we say, please apologize because it's a public forum, is it because you are the most right person? No, it's a public forum. And how much does apology cost? Every one of us on this platform, including the people on the keyboard, are all saying the same thing. You can't only be the only right person now. You can't be only the right person. So if the man say, and the way that I was trained is that if you ask somebody a question and the person say, I'm offended by the question, you say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You rephrase the question. Is that not even simpler way of living? Because that is just 3 words you will have used. But you have tried to explain yourself. Now you have spoken for so long, and yet we still came back to the same point you are trying to make. You are trying to say before. And I would just simply say to Tony, please ignore. And I know that whatever he says, it can't be a reason why your wife, say or do anything. We all, So and now this is what I had to. I'm not gonna tell you lie. It's well. It's well. Chim, you want to make your contribution now?
Okay. All I just wanted to say is this. I know all of us have an interest to see Nigeria progress. I get a lot of buzzwords, and there are a couple of people I have sworn I will not deal with again on this platform or listen to. I get called out every day. People say I'm unintelligent. You say daft human being. I see all those things, but I just ignore. Because it's because I have Nigeria at heart. That is why I come to talk Nigeria. If I know other Nigerians who have moved into diaspora and they have shut Nigeria out of their mind. It's a fact.
Plenty.
Yes, they have, if they're in any conversation and Nigeria want to come out, they will excuse themselves. I've had people like, why say, please, I beg, I don't want to talk Nigeria. I don't come out that place. I've escaped. They'll tell you I've escaped the place. Let them go and solve their problem. I'm in America now. I'm a Canadian. I'm a Brit or whatever. I'm not interested in all those things. People don't want to face reality. But some of us still come back here every day to talk about the country. It shows that we have the interest of the country at heart. I have made comments here about journalists that people misunderstand. I studied journalism here. I wasn't a journalist in Nigeria, but I worked in media houses too back home. But the point remains that for any industry to correct itself, it has to look inwards. Our journalists operate in a very unfriendly environment, like we've all stated. We know some of the challenges they have to go through. But at the same time, there are also some self-inflicted pains that comes from that industry. And that's where someone like me is saying they need to do more to remove those things. Those things are the things that are making the industry is sliding every day. I'm one of the minority. Maybe the majority believe Nigerian journalists are doing so much of a great job in this generation. I don't belong to that group. Sorry. There's an era where I feel everything has just gone south. People, I listen to certain media houses and I hear what certain people say. And I'm like, for real, this person is saying this and you're a journalist. There are some media houses I have never listened to. I have listened to them in the past. I have shut them out. I won't go there. I don't want to start mentioning names just for decorum's sake. But I just believe more can be done. We can't overlabor the issue. And then I'll end again by saying, Mr. Tony, please just I beg, just let it slide. Let it slide. Not because it's not painful, not because you don't feel aggrieved, but just let it slide and let's move on, please. That's all I will say. And I'll say good night to everybody.
Thank you so much. I want to remind Tony of the song of Sonny Oti or Sonny Okosu. In the end, oh, give peace a chance. All right. So it's been good. It's been a good time. And
can I say something? You know what? Make I talk before you close.
I don't want me to go to something again.
No. I mean, come on. My singular wisdom cannot be better than that of the collective wisdom of people in the platform and in the comment section. I've heard. I take what you. I have
Tony,
a lot.
Sorry, before you go.
Yes.
The only person what apologizing to here now the person we will know they see. So Mrs. Tony, no mind us. We are just being childish.
She did hear. She did hear.
We apologize.
You don't tell me make I pack my load, make I go.
And I
Madam, play with you. Now play with you.
Apology.
Our senior man here.
Madam, please.
Apologies.
Please.
It's okay. It's okay. I take. I've heard all that you said. I take it. I'm not just saying that he insulted me. It's clear. It's obvious that he did. I have not said anything against this person. So I leave it. I let it go. I let it go. I'm not going to let this thing bother me. You know, a man from what comes out of his mouth. You know, so I let it go, and I want to thank the platform, KJ, everyone here that have spoken, Ndubisi, my brother AY, my farm, Machuku, you know, Adama, you know, many, my friend HP. Thank you so much, and I think the reason why we come here is because of Nigeria. Otherwise, we have stuff that we, you know, take our time, you know, to do. But it shows you the enormity of the problem we have in Nigeria, and that's why there's an obvious need for us to keep talking, because that's the only thing that can break down these barriers, you know. So I want to thank everybody. I take your advice. I calm down. I will go and buy suya for my wife because she likes it, and that should settle it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much, and thank you every single one of you. I can see Mr. Omori. I'm not going to bring you back because I want us just end in peace. And so, AY has spoken on your behalf, so you don't need
bring him to backstage. Let's crucify him over there.
So, one person here. I want to thank all of you. Nobody gave us tea today. Abba, at least. Abba Mutum. At least somebody should pay our bill for today now before we go. Because don't leave the wait alone for Dr. Damages. So I thought that Mr. Michael will be here so that I will tell him that offer that he made to Precious, if he can reverse it to me, it will be good, because we need it on this side. All right. I will say that I want to thank every one of you for being here with us. You know, one thing I always say is this, and that's why I'm sometimes, you know, look as if I'm, you know, not a very strong-willed person. But you see, the time that you've spent here now with us, whether you like me or not, has been taken away from your life, and it's not going to come back. So if you have been here for 5 hours, that 5 hours is minus the life you live. So nobody should take it for granted that you leave your business. You can be anywhere. Even if you don't want to go anywhere, you can be lying down on your bed and sleeping. Or you can go out and go meet your friends. But you choose to be here with us. We will not take it for granted. And we will not, not fail to acknowledge the fact that you are sacrificing a lot to keep this channel running. And that's why we feel a bit concerned when people have to come and they are living in anger. So everyone who feel offended, whether you are on the platform or you are at the keyboard, those ones who call me all kinds of names, and the ones who say I don't smile, the ones who say I over smile, all of you, we love you all. if you've been offended by what we said today, please forgive us. We are just but humans. If you have not been offended and you are happy with the presentation today, please come again next week and do well to support us. But above all, we say those of us coming to the platform, can we just share this broadcast today so that people, the more the merrier, people can come. And once the platform is well monetized, we can all rest. Or for those of you who write grants, please contact us. We are looking for people to write grants for us so that we can at least be able to foot the bill without having to unnecessarily overburden Dr. Rudolph. Having said that, thank you all very much. And I want to say this finally on behalf of the Nigerian journalists, whether we like it or not. The Nigerian journalists were the people who drove Nigeria, independence. It was driven by journalists. It was the journalists who fought the military to a standstill by all kinds of writings. They never shied back. It was the journalists who also were in the case of the military until they left. We still have very courageous and God-fearing journalists who do not collect brand envelopes. They may not be as popular as you think, and they may not be working in the mainstream media, but they are doing something that is very, very encouraging in Nigeria. There are those who are also working in the mainstream media who are putting their life on the risk on a daily basis. There's a guy I work closely with in AIT who created a program for River State called the Giant Stripes of River State. Now, that guy was a very fearless journalist. But eventually, not a lot of people know where he is today or even know his program any longer. There are other journalists who have either one way or the other been locked up and all that, and they are still doing what they need to do. They have not given up. The day the journalism packs up, or the day we give up on this, then the country is done. I want to thank Oriako Tokpe, aka Tokpe. Hey, Chineke, look at it. Marama. Anyway,
I don't pray for her. I don't pray for her. I say EFCC no go ever catch up, so it's okay.
You say you were nowhere. Hey, Oriako, thank you so much.
You see what $20 do.
Oh yes, so
KJ drop a profession sharp. He thought
yes, so
man.
$20. So small thing. And look at the value that is bringing to us. What do you mean?
Oh, Brian,
that is aqua value can enable. So thank you so much, and Oriako, God bless you, and you've been doing a tremendous job. So I won't forget to say that. Thank you so much. But back to what we are saying. Listen, there was a newspaper called Concord Newspaper. It was powered by Abiola. They are gone. There are other newspapers and serious newspapers that are they are gone. Let me tell you guys, what you don't understand that what is happening to Nigerian journalists, this is my opinion, today, is a deliberate effort from government. It started sliding when the likes of Newswatch became a daily read. I remember being sent almost every Saturday to go and queue to buy Newswatch because he had what was going to happen the next week. But when the government realized the power of the pen, they decided to, decentralize everything. And even when the decentralization brought people like AIT and other very powerful things, it was again threatened and restricted. Just like NBC now is trying as much as possible to hold the journalists not to give their opinion. According to them, you can only ask questions. You cannot, infer into any question. Is that fair? Because the world of journalism is changing. It's no longer when we read in school that a journalist is only there to ask questions. Now you ask questions and you can even give an opinion. But Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation don't want you to give an opinion, just want you to be asking the questions and do not express your opinion. That's not going to work. We are now moving forward. And the social media is not helping matters because social media sometimes is even more accurate. And just like AY said earlier, We're no longer in the days of NTA. You know, and then that they are sick this thing. 30 million Nigerians cannot be wrong. No, at that time, yes, but now 30 million Nigerians can be wrong, and they are not wrong either, because now they're no longer watching NTA, and nobody's waiting for your 9 o'clock news any longer. Those things are gone. We must have to develop new ways of giving our people information without waiting to hear only what government is saying. You know, the president, the vice president, the first lady, the governor. How many places have you gone to and you're hearing news read in that order around the world? Nobody cares where the president is going, except, and if they want to even say that, just is a brief listing, and they move on to say what the people are doing. The people are more important. In America, one person is killed or is shot, you will see it on the national news. They will tell you the person's name, how old the person is, what led to it. They will keep on that investigation until the truth is. Even ordinary chasing of somebody who run away from police, you see it on the national news. But our own, not that way. It's only to tell us what Tinubu has done, what he's going to do, and what he will be doing. We can't get, nobody talks about the ordinary Nigerian. What even makes us a Nigerian? What makes you a Nigerian? Nobody talks about how do we build, what are the issues that are making Nigeria not to be coherent? What is the issue of, what are the worries, the fears of the minority? What are the things that we should talk about to bring about faster development for the people? The media should do much more than just going, through the headlines. And I want to also thank those courageous journalists in Nigeria who have indeed beaten the bullet to make sure that no matter what you say, they will keep us saying it. Even if you like, then they say they didn't study journalism. They studied aviation, this thing. It doesn't matter. Anybody can be anything these days, So we celebrate their courage, especially using Precious as a point. We celebrate what she's doing. Of course, those of us who are saying the other way, if she was in the mainstream media, she could have said as much as she has been saying. And I want to also direct you guys to go and watch her broadcast of yesterday, which is what we have been asking the mainstream media to do. Get us somebody who knows our Baba, from the beginning. And now somebody have showed up, and it's Precious. That same Precious that had the audacity to put it online. I think we should clap for her, I beg. Look at Noves. So if you want to know who Baba is, go and look for that broadcast and listen to it. On that faithful note, I want to say thank you all. On behalf of Dr. Rudolph, I will say to you guys, please let's do this again next week. And when we'll bring you even more interesting topics and time. Ovie, thank you. Tony, thank you. AY, thank you. And we say thank you. All of you have a blessed week ahead. God bless you all. Thank you.